Oh, I had my mic muted. Hey everyone, I'm Cosmic and welcome to the cloud. Oh no. Yep. we're gonna try it. Oh, I don't have my... Okay, I was like focusing on setting up the stream. I don't even have my game open on my actual monitor that I play the game on. That would help. Unless I want to do this with like 2 seconds of input lag from OBS. There we go. Hello Wertaz, hello Imzo, hello Curbing. Hope you guys are doing good. The chat, as always, is... I wish it just worked from the start, but it always shows like half the messages or 0 of the messages at the start of the stream. I don't know why it does that. I tried refreshing it. Audio is good, right? Yeah, it should be. Okay. Wait, what? Why did I re-max out the upgrades? Why did I do that? Okay, I just watched back the other stream to see which account I... Oh, you know, I did it for the video. I totally forgot. Okay, well that's fine. We can reset them again. I still want to do this no upgrades. I got really confused for a second because I forgot I did that for the video. Tried gyro today and it felt good while practicing, but mentally impaired in game. Yeah, I mean, it's always weird for me because it's like I don't really, I never even like thought to use sticks at first. I just jumped straight into gyro, so that's just how I learned the game. But yeah, I mean, it is weird. It is a weird control scheme compared to like most other video games. So it is definitely, I imagine if you're used to not gyro, it is weird to get used to. But yeah, I think for most people it's worth it, but if yeah, I don't know. We'll see. At least you're giving it a shot, I guess. But yeah, we're doing the challenge again. I would like to do it. It really is just like the can I one-shot Inner Agent 3 challenge. I mean, I did die a couple of other times, and I do think if I ever did actually make it to Grizz, I would genuinely have to lock in. But yeah, the main hurdle I hope to get over this time is just past Inner Agent 3, and then I would hope I would just clear the whole challenge after that, but again, Splatoon 3 does have a few spikes that might be difficult. Using 6 for the last 10 years, I managed to reach X, but I think I hit a plateau. Yeah, I mean, that's impressive that you got to X with them, so... but yeah, I do think just the way the game is designed, you are ultimately, you know, if you want to keep improving, I do think at some point gyro is just kind of a necessity. Recently discovered your channel, I love your content. Oh, well thank you. Thank you, Seki. I'm glad you have enjoyed the videos. And yeah, I hope, I hope to get more out. I am really close. I know I feel like I've been saying that forever, but this week has been like a grind, let me just say. Between like, I'm actually taking classes right now and I have a part-time job, and then anytime I haven't been doing those two things, I've been trying to grind out the boss ranking video. So I have been busy. I have been at work, for sure, especially this week. And it is really close to finally actually being done for real. Oh my god, if I died to Octonozzle, I would be so sad. But yeah. I realized that I actually managed to avoid any and all spoilers for Deltarune. Yes. Yes, you should play it. Wait, are you saying you did start to play it, or you just decided? Either way, yes, you should. Not a PhD, no, God. I'm just doing like a 4-semester program. I just want to get a job. If I find something before I finish it, like, you know, then I can just drop out even and just take the job. I just need like more of a real job than I have right now. But I don't really want to talk too much about that, because stream is my escape from all that, and I could just, you know, play video games and talk about Splatoon for a few hours. You got 2 days ago. Okay. Well, I hope you enjoy. There we go. I also want to get back to the Minecraft, Octo Valley and Minecraft project. That was just like, I hit a point where it's like, I just have to actually learn the like world edit tools, and I didn't want to do that. Or just, I don't know, other things took priority. But I would like to get back to that eventually. I might have to do some like extensive research off stream to actually learn how to use Axiom properly, but yeah. Have you checked out the Hollow Knight update? I know about it. I don't really know if it's worth... Like, I really liked Hollow Knight, but I don't know what I would do in the update besides just, like, feeling the game in 120 FPS. Like, I don't really... I haven't had much of a reason to hop back in, I guess. But it is cool that that exists. Oh, something else that was kind of interesting. My friend... I tried asking him where he got it, and he didn't give me a real answer, so I'm not actually sure where it even comes from. But I got a Splatoon 1, like, Prima guide, like a physical booklet, game guide, which, you know, is not really a thing that exists anymore for video games, because obviously they just have, you know, websites where you look stuff up. But it's kind of cool. There's some, like, actually, like, beta or like, you know, outdated stuff in it, which is kind of fun to look back on. Like, it has like, you know, the old version of Urchin Underpass, but then even some weird, like, here, let me actually, I took some pictures. They're kind of bad pictures because it's like a tiny book that's like has kind of faded pages, and I was just taking pictures on my phone. Let me grab some of the more interesting ones. Well, I remembered it because Octoworld. Where's the Octoworld picture? Maybe I didn't send that one. I like put some of these on my like, oh no, I have it here. So they have like guides for all the levels, which one thing is, that's really cool. Here, let me actually get a picture of that. They have like a top-down map of every single player level. And it's not just like ripped from the gamepad, it's like the actual like overhead. Let me, so first of all, the Octoworld thing. Let me move off so the music is better. This is kind of interesting. The background was different. So there's like a blue cloudy sky in the background of the Octoworld fight. Which I guess, I don't know if that was like a placeholder or if that's just like that was how that was intended to look before they decided to give it like the darker, creepy arena. But yeah, that's kind of interesting. And then there was another thing in multiplayer. This is also just like a thing from an early build of the game, I guess. Sorry, resizing, this is kind of weird. So there's no remaining text above the scores, and it says "We capped a zone." And like, in the North American localization, it says "We're in control." And in the Europe one, I think it says like "You've secured all splat zones." So like "We kept a zone" is like, that's outdated localization that wasn't in the final game. And yeah, the no remaining text, I will admit the remaining text on like the score in Splatoon has always looked a little like squished and awkward in English compared to the Japanese version, but like not even centering the numbers vertically is, yeah, that looks really bad. It looks like bald. And then here's what I was talking about with the overhead. They have like overhead views of all of the levels. Like here's the whole Octobot King fight, and they have like the scrolls and armor pickups and special cans and stuff labeled. I don't know, it's just kind of neat. Obviously not like really a thing you see anymore, so it's just fun to have as like a collectible. I know those pictures aren't amazing, but yeah, I don't know, just kind of a cool thing. Hello Yuffie, hello Martin, welcome. You play Overwatch? No. I do know they got rid of the 2. I don't really have strong thoughts on that. Come on. There's also like a minor story mistake they made, which I think literally no one would like care about except for me. But it said something like, it was like after introducing you to Agents 1 and 2, Cuttlefish gets kidnapped. And I'm like, actually, Cuttlefish says he should introduce you to Agents 1 and 2, and then gets kidnapped, and then you play a whole level with no dialogue, and then Agents 1 and 2 appear. But yeah, like literally no one cares. It doesn't matter, but I did notice that the book is wrong. Also, so I brought this up previously, and I still don't know the actual answer. I had heard for a while that the Octavio fight changes slightly if you have maxed out upgrades. I never got a solid answer on this. I don't know if it's actually different. I tried testing it for the sake of the boss ranking video, and I literally, like, it looks identical to me. So I just decided I'm not going to talk about it in the video, because the fight basically plays out exactly the same either way. But, yeah. If that is a thing, I would like an actual answer. It doesn't say anything about it on the wiki, which I feel like it would. But also there is some, like, Splatoon 1 stuff that isn't fully fleshed out on the wiki, so I don't know. Speaking of, that's actually something I noticed in the Prima guide too, is it doesn't mention, you know, if you get a win streak to get your vibe up to the maximum, Judd will give you a sea snail in this game, which means you can actually get, like, consistently 1 snail per day, which is faster than any of the other games. I mean, you could level up a whole level in Splatoon 2, but that takes a lot longer than getting the vibe meter up in Splatoon 1. And it didn't mention that in the Prima guide, which I'm pretty sure they probably would have added that post Splatfest, but then even the wiki didn't have that. So now I'm like I still play Splatoon 1 Pretendo, and I get sea snails from Judd, so I know that's a mechanic. But it's weird that it's, like, not documented anywhere. The vibe in Splatoon 1, you have a like a win streak. It's like the freshness in Splatoon 2, except it actually does something. It's like the flags for getting a win streak. And if you had a high enough, like, ranking, Judd would give you money, and then he also gives you a sea snail. It's not based, so Splatoon 2 changed it to the freshness meter, which is based on weapon. And I think is just like, it doesn't go away. Whereas Splatoon 1, it was like a daily reset win streak thing, which I thought was way cooler. And it gave you an actual reward. I really don't know why they actually haven't reinstated the vibe system. I liked it a lot more than Splatoon 2 had freshness, and then Splatoon 3 just has nothing. Like, you just get weapons to 5-star, I guess, but that's not like a daily thing. That's just like an eternal grind. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they got rid of that system. I don't know the exact numbers, but it wasn't that high. Because you would only lose, like, it was like freshness where you had the flags. So it wasn't like, you didn't have to have a full win streak. Like, you could win a lot of games, lose one, win a lot of games, and you would have a really high rating. You could get it up in, like, I mean, maybe like 10 games. Like, it really didn't take that long. Does freshness still exist? I don't play Turf War, so if it's a Turf War thing, I literally don't know. Do you think there's any weapon that's worse because of the 11.0 update? Honestly, I haven't played a ton of it. Or at least I've only played the good weapons pretty much. So I don't know, not really anything that I've experimented with. I think some weapons might be, like, worse in the meta, but everything kind of feels better to play regardless. Which is nice. I know ProChar just put out a video, like, giving his opinions on, like, what weapons got buffed and nerfed from the update, and I feel like that was a better breakdown than I could do, and it seemed to make sense, so I don't know, I'll go with his opinion on that. It's Turf War exclusive, okay, yeah, that's why I did not know. Is it like not even, is it non-Splatfest Turf War exclusive? Because in that case, I literally think I've played that, like, twice. In Splatoon 3. I never play Turf War outside of Fest. The highest level of the vibe meter was called So Hot. I think it's On Fire in Europe and So Hot in America. Because Splatoon 1 and 2 actually had different localizations for NA and EU. I don't even know where to look for freshness. I assume it's just in your like weapon stats in the equip menu. I can't even like picture what the Splatoon 3 UI looks like. I know where it is in Splatoon 2. Just debating over what the Raiders' enemies might be. I don't think they're Salmonids. I just think Raiders is gonna do its own thing. I don't know. People wanted Salmonids as enemies. People have been saying that for like 3 campaigns now. I just don't. I think in Nintendo's mind, there's like a distinction between. I mean, I can't say that for sure because obviously we got to play as an Octoling, so like I do think anything is kind of possible with Splatoon in terms of like the enemies and how they're contextualized in the story modes. But I just don't see the Salmonids. I mean, just from a gameplay perspective, I think it would be weird to fight Salmonids, but they're functionally just like not at all how they work in Salmon Run. And I think it would be really lame if they are just functionally how they are in Salmon Run. And I feel like that would be a weird. That would be too much like relying on old content for a spin-off game. So I think from like a game design perspective, it doesn't make sense for them to be Salmonids. I just personally hope it's something else. I just kind of want them to do something totally new. Yeah, I mean, they could be like a Salmonid like character or like a kind of different group maybe, but I don't know. I just see it. I think it's more likely it'll be something entirely different. I'll say a side order, like the gelatins are really like half of them for all intents and purposes are just reskinned Salmonids. So I really hope we're not just doing that again. They would have told us by now. I mean, there's lots of things about Raiders they could have told us by now. I don't know if that's exactly the strongest point of evidence. But yeah. Speaking of, I'm still hopeful for a February Direct. I know we got the partner showcase, but you know, a partner showcase and a Direct in the same month is not unheard of. Also, that partner showcase didn't show like anything that anyone cared about, as far as I'm aware. Like, I don't know. I mostly had a indifferent reaction to it, and I feel like a lot of people were kind of, I don't know. I mean, you know, there's not much to expect from a partner showcase normally, but yeah, there is the trademark thing. There is like one potential reason to believe we're getting a Direct on the 17th with Raiders news. I don't know that for sure. I don't want to get my hopes too high, but it just seems very plausible. I do think if it's not that specific date, I think a general Direct later in the month. If we get a general Direct, we're getting Raiders. Like 100%, we're going to get Raiders news in the next Direct. I think that is like absolutely a given. And if they don't do that, they are actually trolling. But yeah, whether or not specifically the 17th, I'm not gonna, you know, bet everything on that, but I think it's very, very possible. Oh, okay, rip that guy. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see more evolved other species, like the... I mean, I love the deep sea metro denizens just for, you know, really showcasing the kind of diversity in Splatoon's world of all these different, like, weird creatures. So yeah, I mean, I've been saying I want like more urchin NPCs, more manta ray NPCs would be cool. I'd be down for that. I don't think they'd be the enemies, but I would like to see more of them in general. It's not a 2027 game. You don't announce a spin-off 2 years ahead of time. You just don't do that. with the cutscenes are already finished. Like, this isn't some like high budget, big release, like super massive, you know, development like hell type game. Like it's just it has to be this year. I really think it has to be this year. Octavio and no damage for extra difficulty. I mean, I'm trying to beat this challenge at all. I don't know if extra difficulty is exactly in the cards right now. I mean, I think you'd still call it a AAA game. It's just a budget AAA game because it's still in-house Nintendo. And I mean, we don't know how budget it is. I mean, maybe it's pretty high budget. It probably still is a decently high budget from the looks of like the production value on it. It's just, I don't know. I mean, we don't know. Maybe it will be about as high, you know, value as the mainline games. I just typically a spin-off isn't. That's just normally how things work. Mario Sports, yes, I would call AA, but that's because they, it's like a different studio. As far as we know, Raiders is being developed like by the Splatoon team. So that would be the difference. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to really define it before we literally know what the game is. So it's a bit up in the air at the moment. Jellyfish being the main NPCs is... I mean, I don't think it's lame. I just think it's like... Yeah, I wish there was a little more variety. It's just weird because they have the variety, they just don't use it. Like, they could totally have, like, more blobfish or... Like, I mean, I guess that, you know, I get that they wanted the deep sea denizens to, like, be their own thing. Because it's like, oh, these are the deep sea creatures, these don't come up to the surface. But... yeah, they totally could. You know, just lean into more of the stuff they've already made. I mean, we have goldfish, we have marigold. There could easily be more goldfish around. Dude, I forgot to which it. I need to remember which profile is the correct one in terms of the like upgrades I should be. I wanted to play with no upgrades. We went through this whole thing last time where I had to like figure out. Okay. And I'm getting an ad on my own stream VOD. Okay. Come on. If anyone remembers, feel free to tell me, but I think I'm almost there. Nope. It's this, it is this one. Okay, it's this one. Cool. I think it's one of them, thanks. What do AAA and AA games mean then? I mean, it's... I'm maybe not the best person to ask. Like, generally, AAA... It's easy to tell AAA versus indie. It's AA is the confusing one. AA is like... I think it's typically... It's more about, like, the publishers. Like, it's... If a game is basically given funding and like is published by like a major company, but is developed by a smaller studio. But it's also so confusing because like, I mean, Nintendo's basically the only people who actually develop stuff in-house anymore. The other like big companies, I mean, Microsoft literally just buys studios. Like, they don't have, like, as far as I'm aware, there's probably, like, a Microsoft Games thing. I honestly don't even know. But... then Sony has, like, more, like, exclusivity deals. Well, they kinda do, but then everything just comes to PC anyway, because that's the whole joke, is that, like, PS5 has no games. So, I don't know. I don't even know anymore, to be honest. typing the captions to my video and start typing out what I say. Yeah, oh yeah, I saw that message and read it in my head, but I didn't read it out loud. You said you were making a video while watching a stream. I don't imagine that is great for productivity, but I do appreciate the viewership, I guess. Yeah, AAA is American Automobile Association and AA is Alcoholics Anonymous. Yeah, there you go. That's that's all you need to know. Oh, I have curling bombs. Oh, that was also for the video. Okay. I won't use the curling bombs. It's technically an upgrade. Dude, okay, part of the reason this video has taken so long, by the way, is because, like, I like to have relevant footage. I really, really like the thing on the screen to match what I am saying in the voiceover of my videos. So I just had one throwaway line in the Octo Samurai fight, where I'm like, oh, and if you unlocked curling bombs, then you can, like, chase the boss down and move across the arena quickly. But then I'm like, okay, well, in the recording, I didn't unlock curling bombs, so now I need to open Splatoon 2, find an account that doesn't have curling bombs unlocked, unlock them so I have footage of unlocking them, and then do the fight again and use curling bombs. And that is why this video has taken like 5 months, because it's that times like 30 different things for every boss times 27 bosses. For the most part, I can just use the footage I already had of all the bosses, but there's always things like that where I just like to actually line up the video with the script, and yeah. I mean, I do think it shows in the end, like, I don't know, people tell me they appreciate how highly produced and edited my videos are, so I think it's worthwhile. I mean, I definitely think the quality of the video is better, but yeah. It does slow me down sometimes. I do think sometimes maybe it's a little bit overboard. What did I did use the hero shot, right? Yeah. I decided I would use the hero shot for all the bosses. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think people get it right now. It's like we're kind of in a dry period for Splatoon. I mean, at least in terms of my type of content. I guess technically 11.0 is like interesting, but you know, I'm not making video essays on Flow Aura, so as far as I'm concerned, we're in a dry period. So I don't think people are expecting too much from me at the moment anyway, but yeah, I do want to... I mean, I literally, like, I'm for sure getting this video out within the next 2 weeks. I want to say 1 week, but I always, like, in my mind, I'm thinking, like, when I'm done editing the visuals of the video, but then, like, first of all, rendering a 3-hour video, I might have issues. I had a lot of issues last time, just trying to literally render the video. I'm like, I have started making the thumbnail. I don't know if I'm 100% happy with it yet. And then, I mean, even my descriptions take forever. To be fair, I'm probably not going to put all the music in the description. I didn't for the level ranking one because I literally hit the character limit of the YouTube description box. And a lot of them are on screen anyway, because I talk about the music for the boss ranking video. And I have the track names appear on the screen when I'm talking about them. There's lots of other songs that are in the video that I don't talk about, but it's like, it's all Splatoon music. If someone really wants to know a song, they can comment and I can reply. I'm probably not going to bother with that this time. I do reference some sources in the video, like interviews and stuff, so I will have to, you know, get the links for those. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of effort to make videos the way I make them. So it'll be soon. It'll be soon-ish. It is genuinely almost done, but there's still a lot to do. Yeah, I do like that the Flow Aura ties into the special lore boiling ink stuff a bit. I mentioned that a bit in the last stream, I think, but yeah, it is nice. Also, I just like missed the menu. Here we go. Hello, DJ Hyperfish. Yeah, it's similar to how specials work, seemingly. Just not quite as, like, intense. I don't know. I mean, it's not it's not super specific. It just mentions, like, the ink inside of them boiling, and them powering up, pretty much. Why are you putting so much effort into everything? Because I want it to be good. I am passionate about creating videos, and I want the effort I put in to create a better product. I love reading video descriptions. Well, thank you. That makes at least one person. I love reading video descriptions. I feel like people do not. I frequently get comments. Speaking of, like, again, the level ranking video, I didn't list the music. Basically, every single other one of my long-form videos, I list all of the music I use in the description. And on all those videos, I get at least, like, 5 to 10 comments, like, asking, you know, timestamp, what's the name of this song? So, in case any of you watching are not aware, I do put them in the description. Mine aren't normally very quirky, to be fair. I just kind of, you know, I put the information that needs to be there, but I do put effort in the description too. Do you think they'll give us a lore explanation of why Flow Ore was discovered on a random Tuesday? Probably not. I feel like it's kind of like, I don't know if I call it a retcon. I guess it's effectively a retcon if it does exist in universe. Like, it'd be weird if it just started happening someday. They could make it something with, like, well, no. I was gonna say it could be something with, like, the splatlands being warmer and, like, causing the ink to boil faster, but, like, you literally get Flora on the Inkopolis stages, so it doesn't exactly work. They evolved in one day, yeah, I mean, fizz bangs are just an item. That's just a bomb. Like, those can canonically be invented one Tuesday, and that's fine. That's not canon breaking. Yeah, they could have made, like, a device for it, although I do feel like the animation, like, it feels very much like a natural Inkling ability. I feel like if they wanted it to look more like a, you know, like a tool, then they would design it that way. I mean, realistically, I think it's just, you know, it's very much a multiplayer gameplay first thing. Maybe if it was designed, you know, at the launch of a game, they would have put more lore into it, but it's... I'm okay with it mostly just being a game mechanic. Next Thursday, we're getting Raiders news. When is the 17th? If we're going off that one thing, it would be Tuesday, 2 weeks from now. But yeah, I don't know. I don't want to, like, lock in that date specifically, but also, like, it would be really cool if it was that date specifically. You think the UI in Pokemon is canon? I'm hardly a Pokemon lore guy, but I don't see why it would be. They're, like, literally just health bars. That's a very standard, non-diegetic video game, like, user interface. I don't know why it would be. If there's any implication that it is, then maybe. 17th is, like, almost my birthday. Well, we should tell Nogami that it's, like, almost somebody's birthday, and then maybe they'll give us Raiders news. That sounds like a plan. Can I please hit this guy? Can I please hit the guy, though? Okay, I guess we're doing the rail, and then he's gonna move away from the rail the second I get close enough to shoot the guy. I like thought it was gonna happen, that I thought it wasn't gonna happen, and then it did happen. So, you know, that's just how it is. Yeah, I mean, we've had diegetic Splatoon UI. The CQ80 is probably the best example. I would like more of it, for sure. Come on. I forgot how annoying this is. Yeah, I mean, I still, you know, soon. Soon we'll get a lot. Like, I think when Raiders gets here, it will come in full swing, you know? Why do you shower now? What are you... I thought it does this when you're not using the charger, it can just shower in place. That's so weird. This is what we said for the September Direct, but like, I mean, September wasn't a for sure. A September Direct was like a probably most likely, and I still stand by it. It should have been there. It was very likely, you know, based on typical Nintendo and Splatoon news cycles, it should have been there. But there was a chance it wouldn't be, because it hadn't been that ridiculously long. Now it has been ridiculously long. It has been the longest expanse between, you know, an announcement of a Splatoon thing and more news on that Splatoon thing ever. It was longer than the Splatoon 3 announcement to the Splatoon 3 September Direct, or, you know, Direct trailer. It wasn't a full Direct, but it was in the Direct. So like it's just literally guaranteed. It's like 99.999%. September was like 80%, I think. It's a different situation. is all I'm trying to say. Is like it literally has to be there, or they actually hate us and want us to suffer. I'm gonna die. Okay, no, I'm not. Yes, I am. I like the way your mic/voice sounds. Thank you. I like the way my voice sounds today too. Sometimes I don't like my voice, but today I feel like it's a good. I think it's because I'm kind of tired. I think being kind of tired is like good because I normally talk too loud. So this kind of works out. Maybe that's the strat. I just like deprive myself of a little bit of sleep on Saturdays, and then I'll have a more soothing voice. Dude, this is. I should probably just use the rail. I mean, this never works. Does the rail even reach? Oh no, you have to use the dash tracks when he goes to those ones. Okay. I mean, yeah, I'm saying if there is a Direct, Splatoon is a 99.9%. I think the chance of the Direct itself is significantly lower, but I still think it's pretty likely. Because it's not just a Splatoon thing. I think genuinely, I don't know. It's like this thing where like I feel like depending on the person, depending on who you ask, people will be like, oh, Nintendo already has so much lined up for this year, or Nintendo literally has shown nothing for this year. I'm kind of more on the side of they've shown nothing. Like besides Fire Emblem, which we need another Fire Emblem trailer. So I don't think that's, if anything, the existence of Fire Emblem is further evidence that we might, you know, or not evidence, but increases the chances of a Direct this month, I would say, to get another Fire Emblem trailer. And we have no sign of like what a holiday game might be. Or really, I mean, I don't think we have anything past like June or July. So I think it's gonna happen. They almost always do a February Direct specifically. It's February and September are like the hotspot months for Nintendo Directs. Sometimes they do it in January, sometimes they do it in March. September is pretty consistent. They pretty much always do one in September. And then they used to do E3, which was June, but now that's always up in the air. This boss takes so long with Hero Shot, I forgot about this. But yeah. Raiders specifically, I think the last not Raiders, February. I think the last 6 years have had a February Direct. So, 2025 had 2, right? I think that's when they did the like Switch, or was that April? No, when was that? They did the Switch 1 and Switch 2 Direct like a week apart, and it was really weird. That was definitely an exception, but like they like February is the point. I think it's surefire. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I really do think, like, if February passes, that's when I start to worry. If February passes, we don't get a Direct and or we don't get Raiders news. I mean, that's the thing. It's not just Raiders for me. Like, I think Nintendo's January was really good. Like, there wasn't all stuff that I cared about, but they had a very consistent news cycle. You had Animal Crossing update, you had Tomodachi Life Direct, we had Splatoon update. Like there's just a lot of stuff happening. It was genuinely, it was what I was waiting for all of 2025. I'm like, okay, it's actually an exciting time to be a Nintendo fan right now. There's stuff happening. It actually feels like a new console where everything's getting new updates. Like, that was what I was waiting for. So if they can keep up that momentum into February, which so far they kind of have, they had a partner direct. There wasn't a ton in there that was all that exciting, but it's still Nintendo news, Nintendo presentations happening. People, you know, people talking about the console, people talking about games on the console. I think it makes perfect sense to keep up the momentum and actually finally drop some heavy hitters for later in the year. I think everything is aligning. And like, I don't know, I'm not like a industry analyst, I guess, but I mean, I guess this is effectively I don't know, it's just patterns. It's all just patterns, and based on the patterns there should be one. That's all I can say. I need more Hugh Morris lore. Yes, I agree. I think the Switch 2 Direct was in April. I'm pretty sure that one was in April, but that was also like a console launch. That was kind of an exception. Like that happened then because the console released on June 4th, right? Like they couldn't do a Direct in June or in, I mean, they could have done it in February, but you know, I think they wanted to have a quick turnaround on that. I said I don't necessarily want them to do a full game-specific Raiders Direct because I just don't want to be spoiled on a bunch of stuff in the game. It might be good for showing the game to people who aren't typical Splatoon fans and really showing how the gameplay is different compared to the rest of the Splatoon series. So it might be a good idea, but if one doesn't happen, I will personally not be upset because then I won't be spoiled. But yeah, I mean, they need to give Raiders some exposure, because literally, like, I go on live streams and someone brings up Raiders, and then you see like 5 people are like, oh yeah, lol, I forgot that game was announced. Like, people who aren't Splatoon fans do not care or know about Raiders, because Nintendo has not... They announced it in a video that looked like a Splatoon 3 update, and have not talked about it since. So people literally do not know about Raiders. And they really, like, I really think it should be shown in a Direct. Okay, see you, Kale Salad. Good luck on your video. I mean, I think they're fine. The thing with me is that they have actually sold me on games before. Like, I watched the Xenoblade 3 game Direct, and that made me buy Xenoblade 3. So, I wouldn't say they suck. I think the overview trailers are worse. Those, I've said, like, several times that overview trailers genuinely just, like, spoil the first, like, 5 hours of all the games they show. Which I don't think is good. I think, I don't know, like, even if you're really, really on the fence on a game, I just feel like if you're gonna watch that and then you're gonna already know what the beginning of the game is and then you're gonna be bored. Like, I don't get the overview trailers. To me, they're way too much. But yeah, the Bonanza Direct was huge. That totally, like, I feel like when that game came out, I mean, I was very much in the, you know, this game looks cool, but I'm sad it's not a 3D Mario crowd. And then that Direct was like, okay, well, this is like, it's not a 3D Mario, but it's like totally its own thing and it looks really cool. And they made it look really cool and exciting, whereas the first trailer, something about that team, because even the first Mario Odyssey trailer, it was cool, but like the second Mario Odyssey trailer was like infinitely better as a trailer. The first one was very much like an announcement. Like, it showed New Donk City, which was like kind of like the cool like shock factor moment, but like the actual gameplay they showed and like the music, it was like some early version of Fossil Falls, I think. Like, it just wasn't all that like crazy of a trailer. And then the second one was the Jump Up Superstar trailer where they showed off the capture mechanic. So that was like, you know, just does a way better job of communicating the like heart and soul of the game in both in a visual sense and a musical sense and in a gameplay sense. Whereas the first one was like, it showed like a single cap jump and like one world. I think it was all, no, it showed a couple, it showed like a few shots of Cascade and Sand Kingdom, I think, but it was like mostly Metro Kingdom. So something, I don't know if it's like the same team. I mean, it is a lot of the same team members. I don't know if it's the same people making those trailers, but they don't they don't have a good track record with like the first reveal trailer, I feel like. Yeah, I mean, Raiders, I think the Mario Odyssey trailer is better than the Raiders trailer, though, because those both Bonanza and Odyssey actually showed off their core gameplay in the first trailer. I still just, I think a video game trailer that doesn't show gameplay is not a video game trailer. I am, I'm just so, like, there are like specific instances where it, like, if they're doing something like really like artsy and cool, I can like respect it. But for a reveal trailer especially, I just don't get it. I mean, it's a teaser, not a trailer, yeah, but it's like, you're only teasing a part of the experience. Like, I want you to tease the gameplay too. I don't know. It's a thing that will never get me. I can't say it will never get me hyped, because like Smash Bros did it and it worked. But that's Smash Bros, where like every game is like an iteration, you know, it's an iteration on the previous game. So you don't really like, people know what Smash is. Like, again, like certain games, certain circumstances, you can get away with it. I think for Raiders, it's terrible, because I think for Raiders, like, the entire selling point of the game will be, how is this gameplay different from the core Splatoon series? So I think not showing that was a huge misstep, to be honest, but, you know, could maybe be remedied by a good second trailer, because again, a lot of people literally forgot about the first trailer, so that will effectively be the reveal for a large audience. Yeah, like in like Side Order, I don't know, I just, the thing I'm really realizing about my taste in games the more time goes on is that, like, it's not even that I'm a gameplay, I'm in a lot of ways I'm a gameplay first guy, but it's just like, gameplay is story and story is gameplay, I guess is how I feel. Like the kind of, what do you call it? Emergent gameplay in like a 3D Mario game, like in a platformer. I don't know, it's something I've talked about, like that Celeste GDC talk that I think kind of changed my view on it, but it's just like, a level is a story, right? Like it sounds like, it's hard to like explain it without it sounding really stupid, but like, like jumping on a platform or like a bridge crumbling is like, that is like a part of the journey that the character takes to get from one point of the game to the next. So like, that is like, I just don't see them as like separate things. Like, to me, it's like, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to even compare it to like a movie trailer. I'm trying to like, you're not giving me the full essence of the thing. Which I just think for a trailer, it should. I don't know. Yeah, this boss literally like can't kill you because you just recover your armor before the next thing comes out. I did watch Deltarune Toilet Theory, yes. Cammy Boy G is a good example of like, I really like watching this video, but I don't actually agree with anything he says. It's very entertaining. I don't really like agree with the theory, but it's interesting. Never underestimate the Deltarune community. There will always, like anything you can think of, there is some kind of theory around it. Recently got the opportunity to play Octo Valley. It surpassed your expectations by a lot. I am glad to hear that, because I often fear that I am very nostalgia blind or nostalgia biased when it comes to Octo Valley. So I'm glad to hear that you genuinely enjoyed it. It was not a Skibbity Toilet Theory, thankfully. I still kind of want to make a video on Octo Valley. I just feel like I'm kind of do it in all my other videos anyway, so it'd be a little redundant. I don't know. Yeah, green Gaster theory. Which, like, those are the ones that, like, I just don't get. Like, people just fixate on, like, certain things where it's like, it just doesn't matter. It's like, if Gaster is green and is the room in between, like, why does that matter? I just don't get it. Like, he would be Sanson Papyrus's brother. Okay? Like, why should I care? Like, those are the theories where you lose me. If there's some crazy crackpot theory that has no evidence, but there's, like, some kind of, like, thematic, like, through line that ties it together and makes it interesting, like, I'm more willing to care about that than just some theory that's like, here's a bunch of evidence that leads to something, but that something doesn't mean anything. It's like, okay. 6-7 theory is like, I mean, that was like clickbait. Like, that was just really clickbait. It barely even had to do with, like, it's just, it was like, that was an example of, like, it's not analysis to just pull a bunch of random facts from the game and say, okay, hey, look at them. It's like, if you're not deriving any meaning from it, like, you have to make me care, right? Like, I don't know. Should I play Deltarune or Undertale if I'm kind of mediocre at similar games? Yeah, neither of them are too hard. Deltarune has, like, optional secret bosses that can get pretty challenging, but, like, generally they're pretty beginner friendly, and there's lots of ways to, like, you know, you can just buy a bunch of healing items. Like, the games generally are pretty player friendly, and beginner friendly, especially Undertale. So yes, I would say go for it. It's mostly about the, you know, experiencing the story. I had to switch accounts for Octo Expansion, right? I think it was this one. You really do need to play chapters 3 and 4. A lot of theories on YouTube just assume correlate. Yeah, yeah. You had to change one thing about each Splatoon campaign. What would it be? I mean, for Splatoon 1, it'd probably just be, like, giving it some, like, actual story presentation. Like, giving Agent 3 a single bespoke animation in the entire game would be cool. Instead of just them, like, standing in an idle pose for the 2 cutscenes that exist. That's honestly the main thing, because I wouldn't want to change it too much. Splatoon 2... low-key just make the final boss better. Like, just give it, make it less of a clone of Splatoon 1 with a lamer arena and less attacks. Octo Expansion, just give it more unique bosses instead of refights. Return of the Mammalians, I think you know. Return of the Mammalians, there's too many things to list, but just the story in general. And side order are literally just more floors, more objectives and or more floors. Octo Expansion is mostly, like, it's... The flaws of Octo Expansion are small enough and insignificant enough that, like, I don't need to change anything about it for me to consider it basically perfect, but giving it fully unique boss fights instead of boss refights would, like, pretty significantly enhance the experience, I would say. Especially if they, like, tied into Kamaboko lore somehow. Think it's possible for Raiders to be better than Octo Expansion? Gameplay-wise, definitely yes. I don't think, like, it's gonna be really hard for something to have the same kind of emotional impact that Octo Expansion had. Because I think a lot of Octo Expansion, it was like the surprise. It's like, oh, we have a Splatoon game that has cutscenes now. Like, we have a Splatoon game that actually takes its story seriously. Like, it was so impactful partly because of what the other games hadn't been. Whereas, like, now that we have Octo Expansion as a comparison point, I don't think another game will, like, hit as hard as Octo Expansion, unless it's, like, that's some kind of massive step for like the storytelling and the gameplay. But gameplay-wise, I think it's possible to surpass Octo Expansion. I think it has a lot of really great ideas, but it is fundamentally like a remixed, you know, set of challenges. Like, it's taking mechanics that existed in Octo Valley and Octo Canyon and using them in new ways. But a game that like actually had like fully unique mechanics and ideas, I think would be better. So like, oh, okay, I used a curling bomb. Sue me. We used one upgrade. Oh no, that's not even an upgrade. We're in Octo Expansion. What am I saying? I thought I'm like, I was still in Octo Canyon brain. I'm like, I'm using my upgraded curling bomb. No, I literally just have that. That's fine. But yeah. We haven't had it in a minute. I mean, it would still certainly hit hard after Return of the Mammalians in side order, but I don't think it wouldn't be quite on the same level for me. There's a reason why I love Splatoon's background lore. Yeah, well, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to see that people have gotten, you know, taken more interest in the lore and stuff. I know it's not something people kind of by default expect or care about in the games, but yeah, obviously I think it is worthwhile to look into it. I have really high hopes for, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I do think gameplay-wise, if there's anything to have high hopes about, it is the gameplay. So that's kind of what I'm banking on, is like, even if they totally screw up the story somehow, just make the gameplay good. Because we haven't had like a really solid, polished, fun campaign since Octo Expansion. You know, forget the story. Like, I just want the game to be good. Also, yeah, I mean, like, the thing is, like, playable Octolings was just such a big deal for so many reasons. Like, that alone, I think, just made Octo Expansion hit in a way no other campaign really can. I think the story can pretty easily be better than Side Order, just by nature of it most likely being a linear adventure game where it can like actually have events happen in the plot and not just end after a single run of like a, you know, a 30-minute roguelike tower climb. And I think it's pretty easy to be better than Return of the Mammalians just by being a remotely competent story. So yes, I have high hopes that it will at least be better than the past two. As a package, do you like chapters 1 and 2 or 3 and 4 more? Chapter 2 is still my favorite. Like, I pretty confidently can say I like chapter 2 the most in Deltarune. So, it's hard to say. And now, honestly, for me, it's still 1 and 2. Like, I still love 3 and 4. Like, I don't want to say they're, like, bad, but, like, 3... I have enough issues with 3 that it's, like... I think 3's pacing is worse than chapter 1. And the pacing just hurts a lot of the other aspects of the game. Whereas chapter 1, I honestly feel like chapter 1 sort of can get away a little bit more with certain things being underwhelming just because it's chapter 1. And like Jevil is a way, okay, I mean the Knight, I feel like the Knight, it's really hard to not separate the Knight from the rest of chapter 3 in my mind. Like, I just like, I always like forget that it's there. Like, I think Jevil is a way cooler secret boss than Eram. But that fight does kind of change things. So, I don't know. Is there a lore reason why birds still exist? I mean, they just survived the mass extinction event. They can float on water, I guess. Or, you know, get to high ground when the world was flooding. Someone asked a question that I wanted to answer, but I forget. Oh, do you prefer Octo Valley or Side Order? Probably Octo Valley, if I'm being honest. Gameplay-wise, 100%. I just don't love the gelatins. I don't like the salmonid gelatin kind of enemy design where they're just constantly following you as much as like the way Octarians work. Like, as much as I'm tired of the Octarians and I want new enemies, I still like them better than the gelatins, personally. Gelatins have some really cool design, but it's just... I don't know. There's also some really annoying design that I don't really like. The panicking Alamambos, again, Tentacooks are one of my least favorite mechanics from Octo Canyon, and that's like a fifth of Side Order's gameplay, so don't love that. I heard someone say 100% in Octo Canyon is worth it in Alterna. I mean, it's definitely more tedious than Alterna. And much longer than Alterna. Like, I don't know, it's easier. It's easier to 100% Alterna, but is the gameplay better? That's maybe debatable. Yeah, part of Octo Expansion's gameplay was definitely the challenge. The challenge being as tough as it is, you know, for a more seasoned player, I find that very appealing, for sure. It is not more tedious? Oh, you were talking about the story. Yeah, I mean, it definitely takes itself more seriously and has, like, darker elements. I don't know, we're flip-flopping between, like, Splatoon gameplay, Splatoon story, and Deltarune right now, so it's hard to keep track, but yeah. Yes, I do agree, definitely being darker was part of it. It's way more... Oh, I mean, I guess I was thinking of just the levels. I think the map in Alterna is a little over-exaggerated how annoying it is. Like, it does suck. Don't get me wrong. Like, I've only done it one time, which is like, that's the only Splatoon thing I have only done one time. Well, okay, technically I've only 1000%ed Octo Canyon one time. Actually, I don't think that's true. I think I did it twice, but like years and years ago at this point. I forgot I did that. I'm pretty sure I did that. But I don't know. It's still so much easier. I'm not going to moan again. I hope. I mean, no promises. It depends, like, how you do it. I don't know, because I like replaying games. Like, I enjoy, obviously, I'm here doing this right now. Like, chances are I would have replayed Octo Canyon 9 times of my own volition, whether or not the game had a reward. All right, we're back to Splatoon 1. Whether or not the game had a reward in mind. But I also think there's an argument to be made. That replaying a game 9 times is more annoying than, you know, just doing a tedious part of one game. Yeah, the mechanic and the pilot are pretty clearly the same character, I would say. It's almost definitely going to be, they're wearing the helmet and the helicopter crashes, Deep Cut pulls them out of the helicopter, and then when you take off the helmet is when you customize them. I feel like that's, like, pretty easy to infer. I forgot that, last time I intentionally did the Samurai first in Octo Expansion, so I didn't waste more time. I definitely should have done that. The pilot ain't having... You can't see the pilot. The pilot's face is like... I mean, you can kind of see their face, but it's like... I think the implication is that it's like hidden in the shadow of the helmet, so you can't make out their features. I still don't think it's salmonids. I mean, I said earlier, I don't think the enemies are salmonids. where would the mechanic come from? I mean, presumably Splatsville, I guess, or the Splatlands at least, if Deep Cut is hiring, you know? But, I don't know. I think you'll be able to play Inkling or Octoling. I don't see why they would limit it. Do you prefer swords and bows or dualies and umbrellas? I mean, well, I like dualies and swords, so I kind of like one class from each. So I guess that's my answer. I don't know. I don't really have like an overall take. My only thing with Splatonas, I've said this before, I like the idea of like swords in Splatoon, like melee weapons being, you know, paint rollers and brushes rather than things closer resembling actual swords. I do like that it isn't literally just like an ink saber, and it is, you know, it's like a stamp and a windshield wiper. Like, you know, they were still like weird in Splatoon with it, but aesthetically, I sort of don't love it. The bows I have more issue with, I guess, because they do, you know, I know it's like, it's a fishing rod and it's a yogurt, whatever. they still have fun with the designs, but they look more like bows. And I liked Splatoon having more unique weapons that didn't resemble, you know, weapons that could be in any other game. And they still are to an extent, but yeah. Umbrellas on the other end, umbrellas are like the other end of the spectrum, where like only in Splatoon would you have like an umbrella shotgun. Like, I think that's awesome. So aesthetically, I prefer dualies and umbrellas. Gameplay wise, I prefer dualies and Splatonas. What are the chances of us not customizing the mechanic at all? I think that's unlikely. I think the clothes will probably be a lot more limited. It'll probably be, I think they'll still probably give us some outfits. I don't think it will be as limited as like the agents, where, you know, they're not, you can't customize the outfits. But I definitely don't think we're gonna have like as much gear in Raiders as like a mainline multiplayer Splatoon game. But I think the, you know, the normal features, skin color, eye color, hair, I don't see why they wouldn't make that customizable. What do you want in the enemy design? I kind of mentioned in that video I made forever ago, I want like mini boss type enemies. I want things like the Octo Striker or sort of like the boss Salmonids that just have more like specific like ways to defeat them rather than just shooting at them. Because that's kind of my issue with the Salmonids, no, it's more my issue with the Gelatins. It's something I actually think the Salmonids do well. Is that like there are kind of these like cool interactions with the Gelatins where, you know, if you pop the guys that shoot out the homing arpeggios, they explode, or, you know, you can make the Noblemente, the charger guy, the sniper guy, you know, that blows up or whatever. But it's like, at the end of the day, you really are just holding down the trigger and looking at them. Like, there aren't really that many, like, there's not that much variety to the ways you fight them. And that's something I really like about the boss Salmonids, is that they have you throw bombs in specific places. They have to, you know, like with a steelhead, you have to have good timing. The Slammin' Lid, you can like much more effectively actually use it to like kill other enemies, and it's not just like a normal explosion. It's like you have to trigger it a specific way. I love the boss Salmonids. I don't like the lesser Salmonids. So I don't want enemies that just chase you down, but I want the enemies with the cool interactions that have different ways of fighting them. That's kind of my main thing, I guess, in general. Aesthetically, I don't really know. I think they could go a lot of different directions with it. We don't really have a great idea of like what the actual aesthetic of the game is yet, I would say. It'd be kind of cool to fight like robots, but I kind of feel like they're going to go in the other direction and it's going to be like some weird organic sea creature, but I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's like an island. One of the islands looks like it has snow on it, though. So I don't think it's all just gonna be like beach stuff. I mean, yeah, we have like 30 seconds of footage, so. something with eyes. I mean, sure. I mean, we fight boss robots. We haven't fought too many tiny robots. Unless, I mean, I guess if you count the gelatins. Parallel Cannon is a robot. Or robots. Marie becoming the boss is sort of like a weird localization thing. I don't really think that's going anywhere. I think in Japanese it's more like Shiver calls her like a older sister. It's more of like a honorific thing, I think, than like a literal boss, which is how they localized it, which is kind of weird and doesn't make any sense in context, and it's a really bad joke in my opinion. But yeah, regardless, I don't think that will matter. Yeah, I mean, there are examples of it being horrendous. I think in general it's mostly fine. I'm always torn on it because there are bits of localization I really like, and then certain, you know, very egregious examples where they either omit very important lore or just change things to mean something that is not remotely the same. But yeah. True, we fight robots. That clearly means Glenn Fiddler is behind everything. Whoa, that was weird. I got caught on the platform. Okay, that threw me off. It makes sense how that happened, but it was just weird. Oh, also, I don't know if I will do the, I don't know if I'll do that, like, damageless challenge again. But Taki actually did make it so that, in the mod, picking up armor kills you. So, if we wanted to do, like, a real legit version of that, where literally everything kills you, I could try that at some point. I think the dialogue is cute for refighting the boss. Yeah, it definitely, like, I'm very glad we don't have it for, like, Commander Tartar, obviously. I mean, yeah, Grizz wouldn't make sense either, but it was a fun detail for the time. I like it in Octo Canyon the most, probably. Did you guys know Deep Cut has that, by the way? I feel like no one ever talks about that. Deep Cut has different dialogue when you refight them. I didn't know that for a while, I think. What are some examples of really good and really bad localization? I really like, so Commander Tartar's whole contemporary speech mode, that, like, whole thing is a product of localization. Like, he does not talk with, like, the outdated 80s slang in the Japanese at all, and I think that makes him way better. I think having him be this, like, weird, goofy, dumb AI character that's, like, thinks it's gonna, like, relate to the youth by, like, using this slang is, like, totally in line with what Tartar is, and I think it then turning that off and, like, going serious mode at the end of the game, like, really adds to the twist. And that is not present in the original script. So some people might not like that, for how, you know, not faithful it is to the original. I'm personally a really big fan of contemporary speech mode. A really bad example? Oh, the worst example, I mean, maybe not the worst, but one of the absolute worst, is Mr. Grizz's dying line in Splatoon 3. In the original Japanese, he says, "good work." Like, "good work," ellipses, which is, like, obviously, you know, Salmon Run. It fits in with his whole character, but it, like, feels sincere. It's like, you know, that's actually, like, him acknowledging, you know, it's still that moment where he just, you know, kind of instantly, like, switches around, is like, oh, okay, my ideology is fixed now, you guys were right, and then I blow up and die. But it's so much cooler. It's a way better line, I think, to end off his arc and his story, and kind of tying everything back around. And in English, he says, "You will not get severance pay," which is like just, you know, the millionth terrible business pun that he makes that deflates all of the tension in every one of his cutscenes. Griz's localization is just a huge mess in general, but that's definitely the worst part of it. So yeah, there you go. Yes, also, Agent 4 being 2 years older directly contradicts the developers saying that Splatoon 2's Inklings are a new wave of 14-year-olds. So that was just the North American devs or localizers just, you know, making stuff up for no reason. Yeah, I know the Alterna rocket is there. I kind of don't love that detail because, like, the rocket blew up. It doesn't really make sense that it somehow crash landed on Earth. I mean, even if it was in one piece and hurtled down to Earth, it should have, like, burned up in the atmosphere. So... Or just gotten, like, flattened if it crashed into land and not water. It's not 3 resets. I mean, if you count the first stream, it's several, but on this stream, I've died and reset 1 time. Oh my god. Uh-oh. Oh yeah, Narwhals. Narwhals is a pretty bad example. In a America exclusive, or at least West exclusive Splatfest, I forget if it was in EU too, but Nintendo implied that Marina's landlord was a narwhal. Well, they didn't imply it, they straight up said it, but they implied that narwhals exist when all marine mammals are supposed to be dead. I think the Rassicus video still holds up on that pretty well, I think. It was a Splatoon 2 era video, but yes, marine mammals are extinct. And yeah, I mean, the water stuff, just the lack of mentioning the osmotic pressure when that's, like, been reiterated several times in the Japanese. Osmotic, not osmotic. You know what I mean. Same word. What's your opinion on Nintendo Music? I don't use it. I think it gets updates way too slowly to be like an actual reasonable way to see Nintendo Music. But it is good for getting official titles. I know some soundtracks have been uploaded in higher quality on the app than they have ever been available anywhere else, so that's really cool. We got, like, actually officially localized titles for a lot of Splatoon songs that hadn't gotten them before. So that's cool. But I don't use it to listen to music at the end of the day. I did complain about alternatives tests existing for no reason, yes. I'm not the only person, but yes. Oosh. I really had no reason to do that. That was just style points. Alright. I feel like this fight was just retconned to be underground, if I'm being honest, by the scroll in Splatoon 2. Like, it doesn't make sense for it to be in space. It doesn't even really look like space. There aren't any stars. I know you fly a UFO into the sky, but it's like... Nintendo Music is my regret infinite loop machine. That's true. The loops are kind of cool, the way they like kind of properly professionally loop the songs, although that's like people are pretty good at doing that on YouTube, to be honest. I mean, kettles seem to basically teleport you. For a long time, I always just assumed they were like an entrance just into like a pipe that took you to the level, but you know, a lot of them are on floating platforms. And it basically looks like it's like turning you into a gas. Like there's colored steam that comes out of the spout when you enter it. So I don't know if we've ever gotten like a super explicit description of how it works, but I think the implication is that your Inkling is being like turned into a gas and teleported, basically. The Splatoon 2 Octo bosses are new. They do all technically have lore in the art book, which is, all things considered, pretty accessible compared to some other stuff. But yeah, I kind of forgot about it until recently. But yeah, like the Octo Oven was literally an oven that they just like made too big and powerful, so then they turned it into a weapon, and that like that's its lore. So it's not from the Great Turf War. It's like a recent thing. What if you inhale an Inkling gas? Yeah, I don't like that concept. That just reminded me of the unhinged Toby Fox comment from the 10th anniversary live stream where he's like, oh yeah, I planned to have this guy like inhale the dust of his lover after you killed him and then have a panic attack, but then I didn't do that. Hello, Mint. But yeah, I mean, Octo Samurai is just a guy. I mean, the weapon is the unique part there. But obviously he wasn't around from the Great Turf War. Yeah, no, I think it was the Royal Guards. I mean, everything we know about Souls pretty much is in Marina's dev diary. I don't think we've really gotten... Like, I mean, Souls were never explicitly mentioned, I think, ever, until Side Order, and I don't think they were mentioned in either of the dev interviews we got after Side Order, so... Pretty much everything we know definitively is there in-game. Yeah, well, potential lovers, I guess, I should say. They don't exactly become lovers on the genocide route. Yeah, Splatoon 2 has an official translation. It's only Splatoon 1 and 2 got them, and then there's Splatoon 3's High Color Walker and Bon Color Walker, which are only in Japanese, unfortunately. Can I please not die to the Octo Samurai, by the way? Can I please not die to... Okay. The Splatoon 2's artwork is really cool. I feel like I need to like look through them again to just like refresh myself on some of the stuff in them. Yeah, I don't really know how like hard they are to find nowadays. I gotta assume most runs end at Inner Region 3. Yes. That is the furthest I've gotten, at least. Last one died to Revenge of Octo Samurai, unfortunately. But that, I mean, that is one of the more dangerous ones, at least. Oh my god, please do not die to normal Octo Samurai. I swear to god. Okay, I don't know why I'm, like, so locked out for this fight. I need to... I need to get this done. Would you do any art book streams just talking about them? That could be fun. At some point, I don't know if they would like, if there would be like copyright issues. You know, I mean, the art book is like a product, and I'm just showing off the entire book. I don't know if that gets you in trouble. But maybe. I mean, my channel's probably small enough that they wouldn't care. I don't even monetize my streams, so yeah, maybe that could be fun. Just get sponsored by Nintendo? I mean, they do have like an affiliate program, but I don't know if that would allow me to... I don't know. I don't know what like the rules are for art book, or like if they care for art books in general. Like they've had no problem with me showing off a lot of it in a lot of my videos. Or anyone else, I guess, but I feel like if I went cover to cover, it is a little bit different. I mean, it's literally on like the Internet Archive. You can just Google the book and find it, so they probably don't care. They probably actually don't care. I could probably do that, yeah. I did show off a bunch of art book stuff in the single player streams, but there's lots of stuff that, you know, I didn't show. Because there's stuff that doesn't necessarily, like, pertain to the levels. There's lots of really cool details in the multiplayer sections. I would love to go through High Color Walker, because I feel like that one is especially, like, unknown, and is, like, especially good. There's so much really cool, just, like, random stuff in High Color Walker. That just is, like, cool, like, you know, in-universe, like, advertising, or... super niche lore, like the, you know, oyster intestines, graffiti interview. Like, it's really cool. Yeah, I need to look through Bon Color Walker again. There's definitely cool stuff in there. Me not being able to read the Japanese hampers my experience with it a bit. But a lot of the art is really, really cool. Yeah, it was good. I mean, again, for sure, if it was in English, I would enjoy it more. I do think High Color Walker had more, like... It kind of gave us more in terms of lore. And there's kind of more just like random cool stuff in it. I need to look through Bangla Walker again, though. It's been a minute. I haven't really, like, just flipped through the pages since I first bought it. I hope Raiders gets one. Considering they've done them even for the DLCs, I feel like Raiders will probably get one. And I mentioned this before, but they partnered with Dark Horse Comics for the physical Rosalina storybook that came out last year. So, like, they're the people who handled the localization and, well, I don't know if they handled the localization. They handled the publishing, at least, of the Splatoon 1 and 2 art books. So, like, they didn't have, like, a falling out with them. So, like, I don't know why they didn't localize the other Splatoon art books, but I don't know if that's maybe a sign of them potentially bringing them in English. I don't know. Do you prefer Splatoon 3 to Splatoon 1 after 11.0? No, because the maps still suck. I like, it always comes back to the maps. It's too much of an issue to ignore. It really isn't fixable unless you literally rework like 10 of the maps in the game. I mean, I don't know, Splatoon 3 and Splatoon 1 are very like close for me. I do really like Splatoon 3 movements. I like a lot of Splatoon 3 weapon kits. I like Splatoon 3 specials, probably overall more than Splatoon 1 at this point. But 11.0 did not really change, I guess, where they stand for me. Health bars are pretty huge, though. I actually do like health bars a lot. Do you have the ability to play Switch mods? I haven't before, but I mean, I have a PC that could certainly emulate Switch games. So if I wanted to, I could. I would just have to figure it out. But I know some people who might be able to help me with that. Yeah, I totally, like, I get the arguments against health bars for like aesthetic reasons, and I do think there's probably like a more Splatoon-y like stylized way they could integrate them, but I don't know, the function of them for me kind of outweighs that. Like, that was something I was debating with people before the update came out, but like now that we have it, I really like the health bars. I honestly, for me, it's worth it for them to look. I also just don't think they look that basic. I think they look like there's, you know, they're animated when you shoot people. Like, there's like just enough going on that it doesn't really bother me, but you know, I think it's fair to not like them aesthetically. Health bars kind of ruin Ninja Squid? No, they don't. Health bars disappear when you go into squid form. You would be like equally as visible. I mean, maybe you're a little more visible, I guess, but like you're as long as your character is in the ink, your health bar does not show. Yeah, they only work if you have line of sight of the person, which includes if they're not hiding in ink. I mean, I haven't tested like the exact, I'm pretty sure they do disappear, like literally the frame you're in ink though. I think that's how it's supposed to work. Well, point sensor makes sense, though. I think it's cool that point sensor shows health bar. That's just a buff to point sensor. Which, of all things that could use a buff, I think point sensor probably deserves it. Also, yeah, aura buffs Ninja Squid, so that kind of balances out. Come on. Yeah, I didn't know that screen hit health bars until that Protara video, but that is also kind of a cool mechanic. Do you have a least favorite boss? Yes. I've been working on a massive boss ranking video. So you will find out. I mean, I've said what it is before. We're actually going to fight it in a bit. It's the Octo Expansion Samurai. I don't need to hide it. Half the chat already knows what it is, but yes. The rematch against the Octo Samurai where you have the baller is my least favorite by a pretty significant margin. And if you want to know more details, look forward to my 3.5-hour video. Coming out soon. We had like a whole stream where I talked about 5v5. I don't know if it was a whole stream, but it was like a while, but I think it would be cool. I think it would be a nice, significant way to actually evolve Splatoon's gameplay. Octo Expansion Samurai is one of my higher ones. I feel like I've started to like it a little bit more, partly because of the video and partly because of doing this challenge, but I still just don't like it. Side order bosses will be ranked, yes. I just try to take like everything into account, basically. Okay, great start. Yeah, I mean, they would have to make entirely new maps. 5v5 would not work on the current selection of maps. Like, they would literally all have to be new, I think. But that's part of why it would be an exciting new, you know, direction for the series. Imagine Raiders having Fortnite-esque multiplayer battle royales. I don't think Raiders is going to be remotely like Fortnite, I'll be honest with you. What is Jim Splatathon? Is this a new, like, Sheldon's Maze obscure meme that even I don't know about? Yeah, side order bosses do get a boost for having very good aesthetics for the most part. Oh! You're fucking kidding me, bro. There's no way has anyone ever died like that in the history of the world? Dude. What even was that? That was... Man. Go buy a lottery ticket. I don't think that's a sign that I would do well. I'd get, like, the statistically worse result. I kind of just talk about the variants. They don't vary that much. Like, I sort of took it into account, but I mostly just kind of talk about the bosses like attacks, I guess, for side order. I didn't even notice the arenas were different until that video, by the way. Did you guys know when you fight a side order boss on floor 10 versus 20, the like lighting is different in the arena? I literally had never noticed that before. But yeah, I think I did the side order bosses justice. Obviously, it's a little hard to rank them like super fairly when there's so many variables that can go into it, but you know, I just talk about the boss more than, well, not more than the player's abilities. In some cases, I do. It just depends on the boss. Like, I don't want to spoil it, but certain bosses change much more significantly depending on your build. And in those cases, I do acknowledge that. I think I went, oh, it's darker and moved on. I'm just surprised I never noticed it. I don't know. It was literally, it wasn't until I was putting clips side by side of like two different instances of the fight that I'm like, wait a minute, why did they look different? At first I thought it was just a parallel canon thing. Because parallel canon only plays the cutscene the first time you ever fight it on a save file. So I'm like, wait, is it just different for this one time? But no, it's the other bosses too. I was so not locked in for that entire Octo Canyon run. I mean, I'm not even... I'm a little surprised it happened like that, but I'm not surprised I lost there because I was just not paying attention. How's the run going? Well, I just died to Octobot 2, so not great, but we're doing fine so far on this one, I guess. What is your expectation for Raiders, not your hope? It's a very open-ended question. I mean, I expect there to be some part of the lore I probably don't like, to be perfectly honest, just because Deep Cut is there. And they're gonna do some, like, BS magic superpower stuff that they normally do. Or... I don't know. There's gonna be something weird. There's gonna be at least one thing I feel like I'm not really gonna like lore-wise. I just hope, like, the narrative is, like, fine. We just need, like, an actual, like, plot and story that is, like, competent. Which Side Order, like, almost was, which is funny, because that's, like... I feel like that should have been the one that suffered the most from the gameplay format. And it actually... I mean, I definitely think it told a better story than Return of the Mammalians. I have an hour-long video on that. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think there's a lot of room to expand Deep Cut's lore and make it good. I just, the little bit we have already is like... The clans are fine. I don't have a problem with the clans. I think them, like, meeting in middle school and whatever is, like, cute, and, like, there's... I don't know, that weird, like, middle school recital moment. I think that's funny. I just want them to have motivations and emotions. How do you think they could expand them? I mean, just give them history. I just think Splatoon's world is interesting enough that if you just make the characters actually a part of it, because that's what happened with Marina, is like, so much of what makes Marina a character, or an interesting character, is just that Splatoon's world has interesting history, and Marina was a part of it. Like, we had the Great Turf War turning into this, you know, kind of weird tension where the Octarians are exiled in the underground domes. They're, you know, have this energy crisis, and they're trying to, like, develop and build up their military. And then all of a sudden you have one of the, like, Inkopolis pop idols is like, oh, she was, like, there. She was there while that was happening. And you're like, oh, okay. So that, like, it just recontextualizes everything that goes on with her. It's like her playing music isn't just because, like, la la la, she likes music. It's like, no, she was, like, living in this, you know, like, impoverished, oppressed society, and now she, like, celebrates her freedom on the surface by, like, you know, I'm not really wording it in the best way, but, like, it adds a lot of depth just by having the characters having gone through something. So, like, I just want there to be some kind of history with Deep Cut's family, you know, just, like, just anything. Just give us literally anything with Deep Cut. Because even the Squid Sisters, like, Squid Sisters basically are just la la la, they like music, but at least it's like, I think them being agents helps a lot to make them still feel interesting. It's like, okay, but they're you know, leading these double lives as secret agents for their grandfather, where they, you know, stave off the Octarian menace. Like, I don't know, that's something. And then obviously Splatoon 2 just kind of tries to go more into, like, their relationship, and how it's affected by the Octarians and everything, which, like, wasn't crazy, but it was something. And Deep Cut just needs something. Literally, give them anything. Give them any kind of history. I think solidify their dynamic with one another, because that's something I've talked about a lot, is I just, like, I don't get what they're doing with their dynamic. I don't really get like who has what role. It kind of just feels like there are 3 people talking at the same time, and sometimes they overlap and sometimes they don't. Like I want them to really kind of figure out their like gimmick better. But yeah, we've not died to Octonozzle yet. Yeah, we have no reason to believe the spawn barriers are not canon. There are definitely force fields, like Octavio has a force field right now. Bubbler exists as a special, which is definitely canon, and supposedly is made out of similar tech. We didn't die to Octonozzle, but we did die to Octobot 2, which is maybe equally as embarrassing. Yeah, I mean, I don't know the, like, physics of it. I guess, you know, a thin liquid might be dissolved by an electrical force field barrier, while a giant metal fist probably just has enough force, to break through it. I don't know. I haven't thought that hard about it, but that makes enough sense in my brain. I did know Tartar has a force field, yes. I think, like, I made a tweet about that once, and then Ardenin, like, quote retweeted it or something. They just have a lot more followers on Twitter than me, so I think that may have helped spread that information, or people just figured it out on their own, probably. I don't imagine that was, like, the main source of people figuring it out. Her personality drives you nuts? I don't love her personality in, like, the news in Splatoon 2. But also that was really poorly localized and isn't really her actual character in the original script. I don't know, I really like her in Octo Expansion and Side Order. I think people are a little, reductive of her character in Side Order. I think she is more, like, a lot of the dialogue is just like, OMG, I love Pearl, but, like, I think there is more to her. I don't know. I mean, part of it is just, I like that. I like her relationship with Pearl. I think the lines are, like, funny or cute, so it doesn't, like, bother me, but, like, I also think people exaggerate how little there is going on with her. I mean, that's, like, yeah, she's not, like, my favorite, though, still. Like, I don't know. Her personality doesn't bother me, but she is kind of less interesting on, like, a base level, writing level to me than... Like, I just like Pearl's, I don't know. Pearl's writing is very fun in a way that Marina's is not, but, like, you know, again, I think that works. Like, I think that the contrast between them is intentional. I don't know. I think it's a fair opinion to have, but I don't totally agree. Oh, hey, Dan. Low Aura was good localization. I do like that one. Sorry, I'm just checking something really quick. Okay. How does Killer Whale not go through spawn barriers, but it kills Tartar? I mean, I think it's possible that Commander Tartar's spawn barrier is non-canon. I think that's just there so that players don't think, like, oh, I have to get into the eye from the ride rail and shoot the robot. Like, I think that one could be justified as just a gameplay thing. But I mean, to be fair, Pearl's voice is, I I don't think the Princess Cannon is just a normal killer whale. I do think it is meant to be more powerful. It also doesn't shoot the eye anyway. It deflects Tartar's sanitized ink beam and fills the Nil statue with ink. I kind of think it like floods the eye from the inside. I don't think it ever really hit through the spawn barrier in the first place. I do think both of their Octo expansion outfits are like way better than their default fits. Pearl's default outfit is fine. It grew on me. I mean, I don't like Marina. I don't dislike either of them, but the side order I think is an upgrade for Marina, I would say. Or not side order. Octo expansion. Side order one is good too. I don't like Pearl's side order outfit that much. The big jacket is funny, but it's like, I don't know. The hoodie was a lot cooler in my opinion. I don't know, Rules. I don't really think they're gonna bring back Tartar in any way. I don't know. I hope they don't. Because if they do, like, I think side order was the perfect amount of, like, he was mentioned in the dev diaries, and, like, sanitization is still, like, important to the, you know, the world. Like, it is, you know, Octo Expansion is an event that happened, and the consequences of it are still affecting Splatoon's world. I think that's really cool. But bringing back Tartar, I just don't know what that would do for the story. Like, what they did with his character was good and cool, and it ended. And we had that. Like, I just don't think we need to retread that. I don't think, like, logistically it would be bad. Like, yes, it makes more sense for an AI to have, you know, like a backup version on a server somewhere and not to literally have its entire infrastructure stored within the telephone. Like, I agree that it could make sense that Tartar could come back. I just think, I mean, just in general, I just want stories to have new characters. I don't know if that's like a I didn't think that was an unpopular opinion, but it is something I find myself reiterating a lot. Like, I just think, you know, there's a way to reuse existing characters. Obviously sequels exist. Obviously, like, you know, they have brought back Marina and Pearl and done interesting things with them, and I'm fine with that. But for antagonists especially, because I think the role of an antagonist in a story is either to force a protagonist to, like, go through development, or if they're like a static character, they're just there to serve as some form of opposition for the protagonist to defy. But, like, if you're just doing the same, either, you know, the same protagonist or the same antagonist in that case, like, what new thing is your story saying? I feel like you need new characters to express new thoughts. Like, I just think that's like, what are you doing with a story if every story is just the same characters every time? And, you know, there are instances where you can get new things out of the same characters, but with Splatoon, at least, I really would like to see them branch out more in general. I think we've already relied on a lot of returning characters as is. And I think it would be very nice to just see more. See more new ones. True that Deadfish should be a twist villain. Yeah. I don't know. I never thought too much of the connection between Deadfish and Paul. I wouldn't really. I think the asynchronous rondo thing was a stretch anyway. I don't really think that's what the symbol was meant to be. But yeah, I mean, they could have at least acknowledged that somehow. Oh, all right, I'm still here. Okay. Oh, that is not the button I meant to press. I don't think it's, I mean, depending who you ask, it might be a hot take. I definitely think among people who care and still talk about the stories, a lot of people are kind of done with the idols and definitely want Squid Sisters to not show up in every single game. You think they'll do another Squid Sisters stories, but for every idol? I mean, I hope every idol is not in Splatoon 4. So, I don't hope it's just with the previous characters. I think it would be great if they had... I like the, like, supplemental things like that. If they wanted to do some kind of story on a website that set up the story of Splatoon 4, that would be cool. I don't think it specifically has to be with pre-existing characters, though. It so strong resembles the order thing from the beginning of the game too? Yeah, I mean, that's closer to, in my opinion, than the Rondo comparison, but I don't know what to tell you. They didn't do anything with it, so I don't know. I think Raiders will have an antagonist. I don't think every story needs to, but I think in a video game it is just kind of the default state. You expect to fight a final boss at the end of the game, so I think that's often the kind of mode Nintendo is thinking in. They think, okay, we need a final challenge for this game. We're probably going to contextualize it as some sort of villain character. So I would say it's more likely than not that it will have an antagonist. Yeah, I mean, I'm currently expecting the Squid Sisters to not appear in the story mode of Splatoon 4. I don't think that is, like, too optimistic or anything. I think that is reasonable. Oh, like a conclusion. I mean, that could be cool. We got the like Idol Summit meetup leading up to Grand Festival. So I feel like that's kind of already the closest thing. It wasn't like as in-depth or interesting as the Squid Sisters stories, but that was like all of the idols interacting in a conversation in universe before Grand Fest, and then Grand Fest kind of was the conclusion to all the idols. So I feel like we kind of effectively got whatever that would be, what you're describing. Yeah, I mean, Squid Sisters will still exist in the world. I think we might even get, like, new Squid Sisters, I really like the idea of what Splatoon 3 did, of having the previous idols, still make Splatfest music, or even regular battle music. I mean, we got Damp Socks, but especially I think it works for Splatfest music to have idols from the past games, contribute. So, I think... I still really love Squid Sisters music, so I would love for that to not stop. But yeah, I'd hope they don't kind of hijack every single story mode forever. Yeah, no, I mean, I get it, Destiny. I don't know. I mean, I'm at a point where I am satisfied completely with what we have of the Squid Sisters and Off the Hook. I want more Deep Cut, and we're getting more Deep Cut and Raiders. So, you know, hopefully that's good. I guess that's kind of where I am with that, but I'm just gonna wait till the game of Raiders before I really have more of an opinion on, you know, what that's actually gonna look like. Did Grand Fest impact you more than Final Fest? I would say yes. Final Fest was really cool. I wouldn't want to undersell how impactful Final Fest was. But it felt like Final Fest was a celebration of Splatoon 2 and specifically Octo Expansion. Whereas Grand Fest was a celebration of like the entire Splatoon franchise, and it kind of hit harder with it having been, you know, almost a decade of the series at that point. And you know, it was a much bigger event in terms of like all the build up to it, all the unique music, the Grandfest grounds. I think it was a more, you know, there was more to do and more to think about and more to see. And it was kind of a more, it was definitely more emotional for me. Hello, Astrobit. Oh my god. Really? Okay. I'm surprised that hit. Honestly, I think I prefer Grand Splatlands Bowl to MC Princess Diaries. I love that it's like you're literally playing on like the ruins of the Nil statue, or you're at least close to it. But gameplay-wise, I think Grand Splatlands Bowl actually clears, so. And the Pearl, getting to use, you know, the Pearl Princess Cannon is very, very cool. That definitely heightens the experience, but I don't know. Grand Splatlands Bowl was awesome. I really, really loved playing on that map. I had a fantastic time. What does nils mean? I mean, we don't really know what nils is. The word nil just means like nothing or zero or void. So, I mean, it's honestly probably just like a cool final boss sounding thing because he wants to destroy the world. I don't know if it's ever gonna be deeper than that. Yeah, I mean, Splatlands Bowl, I just think its gimmick was better. Having the hyper bombs, conceptually, getting to shoot the hyper bombs and use the Princess Cannon is way cooler, but in practice, I actually really, really liked the giant rising wall that like goes up when you stand on it. Like, it was just a really fun dynamic for like defenders in Tricolor. I just think it was honestly a more fun map gimmick. I mean, it is a very similar fight, to be fair, Martin. Of all the rematches, that one's like pretty basic. Yeah, I think it's literally just harder, like, being edgy. Like, I don't know. Tartar does have some dialogue during the fight that's like, you cannot hope to defeat Nils. Or it's like, Nils will pulverize you. Like, it's... Tartar talks about it like it's like a third party, which I think is interesting. Like, I don't know if he literally just means the statue, or... like, if it's almost like... I feel like he talks about it like it's like an organization, or like a, a group. I don't know. It's a given name in German. I didn't know that, but it's in all caps, so I feel like it's meant to be like an acronym. I don't know. I guess I don't know what the German localization is. Maybe that would... Is it? I'm not even sure if it's nils in, I don't think it even is in Japanese. I think it's just like the... It's effectively just like the Kamaboko statue, I think. It's like, it has a different name in Japanese. But I forget what it is. Like Kamaboko in general does. Do you think they're ever gonna add Splatfest to PvE? I mean, they've had, the last two major updates were like the perfect times to do it, and they didn't. Also, the update at the end of Grandfest was a perfect time to do it, and they didn't. So, I wouldn't hold your breath, but maybe someday. Yeah, the dynamic music in Grand Splatlands Bowl is so cool. I love the cheering. I like recently looked back at my Grand Fist video and I literally just like pog out at the cheering like 7 times. Yeah, it's like Neurosu. I think in the interview they said like it being Kamaboko in Japanese would be like a little too obvious. Like I think that's what they said, is they thought it would be too obvious because it's literally you know, like a fish paste cake. So it would be like, we are going to kill you, company. Or not that literal, but like, you know, I think that's the idea behind not calling it that. But I do like that in English it is a Japanese word. It's an interesting localization choice, but I think it's a really good one, actually. More obvious than Grizzco? I mean, Mr. Grizz is the leader of Grizzco. That doesn't necessarily suggest... I don't know. I'm not gonna do Bear Grizz this conversation. We're not doing that. Combo Colossus. Yeah. See, I don't think Nils is really... I don't think it really has a deeper meaning. Splatoon has a problem with I'm gonna kill you companies. Yeah. I mean, so does the real world if you think about it. Oh my god. Oh god. I mean, the part that's messed up about it is that Grizzco is probably government funded. Because they help keep off the salmonids. Amazon isn't blending people in a massive home blender. If it came out that they were, would you be surprised, though? Because I'm not sure I would be. Dude, grab the grab the Zapfish, come on. Okay, it took a while to get back here. I do forget how, like, long this takes. I like doing this challenge, but every run is... It takes a while. Haven't even gone to Inner Region 3 yet, which does not bode very well. Hello, Callie. That hard cut is so, like, weird. I feel like, I don't know, the screen probably fades in and it's just, like, very fast, but it's like... Skipping that cutscene is very jarring. I almost just died to Octobot 2 again. Dude, okay, I actually need to, like... I need to focus for 2 seconds. Please. Please, 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 please. Okay, I always, you know what? I always overestimate. I'm used to fighting this boss with not level 1 hero shot. I overestimate my own ability to knock the fist back. Yeah, I'm not gonna stand next to the edge again. Nope. Dude, whenever that dialogue comes up, I always think it's the, like, Octavio popped out dialogue. Is this phase 1? Sorry. Does this fight really take this long? Hey, Gooberling. Doing pretty good. I mean, I haven't been, like, doing good in the challenge, but we're doing good. Dude, okay, good. Does your armor automatically heal during a cutscene? Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, because you get a checkpoint at the end, right? That makes sense. Why couldn't the Octarians just use solar power? That is honestly a good question. But I don't know. I don't know if there is like an actual valid scientific reason why they couldn't. Please stop running into the hands. I'll try my best. See you, Mint. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for the good luck. I will try to not die to Octobot 2 again. Come on. I mean, yeah, we don't really know the specifics. I mean, I think the idea with them moving underground is that the domes were made by humans. They were running from Nicopolis and just basically came across this like underground civilization. So there were resources there. Like there was a reason to go down initially. And then I think it's just kind of like they became established there and then the resources started running low. That's kind of the way I see it. I mean, yeah, also like it's an entire like civilization, like solar panels. They could certainly contribute. I don't think it would be a bad idea to put some like windmills up in the valley, but I don't think it would cover all of their needs. So Octavio is a squatter? I mean, so are all of these guys, technically. Yeah, sure. So is every American by that logic. Wait, where are you seeing vote me for Octarian president? Did Octavio convince Octolings that the surface is scary? I mean, they literally use propaganda, like very explicitly, so I imagine that was part of it. This fight takes so long, dude. Okay. Uh-oh. Okay. It's actually scary for a second. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I don't think squatter is exactly the best term. Okay, dude. Dude. I'm how do I die to Octobot 2 twice? How, like, what even? That's like, I've never gotten hit by that bomb in my life. I like saw it coming from so far away too, but like I knew I couldn't swim. I mean, I know it's the weapon, but that's a part of the challenge. Like, okay, it's a good thing we're just yapping today. See you, DJ Hyperfish. Have a good night of sleep. Man. That being the like choke point this time around is not great for morale. I'll say that much. Why'd the humans in the domes die? I mean, the entire surface world got flooded, so they didn't have, like, crops. I think they just ran out of resources and starved, basically. Yeah, I should focus more on dodging. I mean, it's just, the fight takes so long that I just, like, turn my brain off because it's so boring. Like, Octobot 2 isn't a fun fight, so I'm not, like, super engaged while I'm playing it, so then I let my guard down and then he gets me. I've done World 4 skip a few times. I have never figured out the, like, ink rail storage thing. So I've not attempted that. Why did humans build a whole rocket just to leave the dome? Because the Splatoon 3 devs thought it would look cool, probably. I don't know. What is the meaning of L3Gs? It looks like legs. that's the joke, is that the Octobot has legs this time. Yeah, you know, we're just typing it out. I mean, at least he didn't just call it 2 or 3. I'd rather him be funny than just boring. You hate that Alterna rocket? Of all the things to hate about Alterna, I don't have too many issues with the rocket personally. I mean, they could have just made an elevator, yeah, or a staircase, like, obviously, but... I mean, I do think, like, they were... The implication seems to be that Mount Fuji got nuked, and that humans, like, you know, hastily gathered together and built a civilization underground. Like, I don't think it would be very easy to leave the dome. Then again, the only way a rocket would work is if they had already dug a massive tunnel above the rocket. So, yeah, it's a little dumb. It's a little dumb either way. It doesn't totally work. Well, so, Splatoon's... The known Splatoon world of, especially Inkopolis, but also the Splatlands, is pretty much just Japan, from what we can tell. I know Rassicus has, like, compared the maps more than I have, but it's effectively, the area is Japan. And there's a giant mountain, like the crater is a crater in a mountain. And that mountain appears to be Mount Fuji. There's like specific evidence for it that I'm not totally recalling, but no, Mount Nantai is different. Mount Nantai is weird because that's just like a real-ass mountain in Japan, but I don't think the placement aligns with the Splatoon version. So, I don't really know why it's called that. But no, the different mountain, because the crater is Mount Fuji. What does the Splatoon USA look like? I don't know. hopefully someday we will find out. Like, I mean, that's what's cool about Raiders, is that we're getting to finally see somewhere outside of this, like, you know, pretty small region. Like, the Splatlands, they made it out like the Splatlands were like this whole new area of Splatoon's world, and they kind of are. But they're like, you know, the same, like, province, or like, you know, obviously the same country, probably. They're very close, relatively. So getting something that's further out in the world is exciting. I mean, the whole Splatoon is Japan thing is not, like, I didn't come up with that at all. That's pretty much Rassicus and other people, so I would not take credit for my brain being too smart for that one, but yeah. Yeah, the Eiffel Tower complicates things. I don't really know why that's there, but it doesn't really seem to add up with all the other evidence that it's basically just Japan, so I don't know. That was Octomo. Okay. The Splatoon 1 bosses are so much faster than Splatoon 2's. It swam there. Yeah, I mean, it impresses me too. Like, I mean, obviously I don't do a lot of the discovering. Like, I do a lot of the reading other people's work, and, you know, obviously I have my own thoughts on things, but yeah, the research is definitely impressive to me too. Especially like translation and stuff. Like, I have huge amount of respect for the people who get all the information to us. I just think and talk about it a lot. I mean, it's kind of fun to imagine that, like, I don't know, maybe warfare in, you know, it's supposedly World War V. Maybe everything has just gotten, like, stupid and petty enough, and technology has gotten advanced enough that some country was just like, you know what, fuck you, France, magnets your Eiffel Tower with my aircraft, and just drops it in another country. I don't know. Like, it could be something like that for all we know. No, it looks way more like the Eiffel Tower than Tokyo Tower. People have, like, tried comparing them. It's, like, pretty much definitely the Eiffel Tower. France magnet theory. Yeah, I don't know. I came up with that right now, but it's a funny image. Why did the Octarians have so many variants, but the Inklings only have one? Well, the severed tentacle Octarians are created from other Octarians cutting off. I always get confused. I know there's a Rassicus video on this. I think it's Octolings cutting off their limbs creates the Octarians that are just tentacles, and then they can grow differently, and the number of tentacles, like, denotes their intelligence. Whereas the Inklings don't do that. If you cut off their tentacles, it does not create a sentient tentacle. So, I mean, it's just, there isn't, you know, there's nothing to facilitate there being different forms of Inkling. I got washed up there during the Great Flood. I mean, the thing is, like, it's all the way upside down. Like, I don't think there's a natural... It genuinely seems more likely that it was, like, launched there as a weapon or, like, stolen than it's somehow just ending up like that due to, you know, some form of, like, natural disaster. Yeah, I talked about that a bit earlier, Numstar, but I'm surprised how much I like the health bars as well. How do Octarians get haircuts? I like the... There's like a... It's just a headcanon that I saw floating around a bit, but like, when you see... Well, the rival Octolings, for one, have short hair, and the pictures we've seen of Marina as a soldier, she has short hair. So I like the idea that they were kind of like mandated, almost like a, you know, like a military buzz cut in real life, but it's basically like, what? Huh? Sorry, let me finish that thought. It's like, the military would essentially force them to cut their hair short for the sake of producing more Octarian soldiers. But otherwise they wouldn't really cut their hair, probably. I don't know, I think that's a neat idea. But yeah, that fist... I mean, I guess it wasn't able to get stuck in the terrain, so it just like bounced back, but I've like barely ever seen that happen. That looked really funny. Yeah. Oh, like normal Octolings, like ones out of the army. I don't know. In short, I don't know. They seem to have like varying levels of control over the shape of their tentacles. I don't really know. I don't think we've ever been given like specifics on how it works, and I don't really have my own ideas. Yeah, people saying it was in Gopolis Tower was so stupid. I don't know if we want to get into the details of how they might prevent Octarians from being born from the tentacles. That's, yeah, I don't know. But, I don't know. It's one of those things that's probably not going to be answered, to be honest. Shiver actually cuts her hair between Splatoon 3 and Raiders, doesn't she? Imagine there's just like a tiny blue Octarian walking around. Oh, actually, you're right. Dude, I always forget. You know I'm insane when this is something I'm always forgetting and re-remembering, but I forget that they have their Splatoon 3 designs in the helicopter before it crashes. I kind of just, in my mind, I'm like, oh, they have their Raiders designs the whole time, but yeah. Your Splatoon theory is it was all a dream theory? Hell no. They better not. I mean, the less tentacles thing was stated in the art book, so I don't think that's like a propaganda thing. I think that is just actual canon. And it makes sense with Octolings being the, you know, the like leaders, effectively the highest ranking ones. Because they have 8 limbs, technically. Although the Octo Hurlers are come close. With some of the Octarian designs, they come close to having 8 tentacles, so it does get a little messy with what even is an Octoling, but yeah, I don't know. No, I believe the conclusion of the Rassicus Octoling reproduction video was that Octolings produce, you know, through normal, like, human sexual reproduction, and it's just the severed tentacle ones that exist from being cut off tentacles. For a while, Paul was, like, a point of confusion because it wasn't totally clear what was going on there, but now that we've seen Paul grow up from, like, the baby-looking Octarian, or Octoling, to you know, what we think of as an Octarian. As an Octoling, I messed it up both times. That basically confirmed it, along with some other sources. I'd recommend the Rassicus video, as with a lot of things. But yeah. I mean, I always understood the more tentacles thing as just Inkling propaganda. Like, that was just literally saying that they are, like, physically superior. But, yeah, I mean, I guess it could. The specifics of that are, can leave something up to the imagination, I suppose. I mean, these ones are muscle memory for me. The reason, yeah, I keep dying on Splatoon 2, because I'm paying less attention. I could definitely play this game entirely on autopilot. This is like the one part where I do have to lock in. Boosh. Hello, Muddy Phoenix. You think S3 is happening during Raiders? I mean, I assume they're just gonna go in order. I think canonically the timeline will be Splatoon 3, then Raiders, then Splatoon 4. I think that makes the most sense. I mean, Deep Cut's doing the news in Splatoon 3 still, so that doesn't make sense if they're gone. But there was... single tentacle. Yeah, like... there's the one line in the art book that states that the Octarian number of tentacles denotes their intelligence, but then, yeah, we do see, like, there's a Professor Octarian who's a single tentacle Octarian. So, I mean, Octolings are supposed to be way smarter than Inklings, but yeah, that does suggest, like, a more extreme hierarchy than you would otherwise expect, but I don't know. I do not really know. Cosmic tentacle rave environment. Yes, I agree. It's very good. Maybe the single tentacle professor has autism that makes him smart. That's a headcanon. That could be it. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I can autopilot after Alterna. I have replayed it several times, but I do have to concentrate still when I play it. Can confirm that is how autism works. Octavalley Minecraft is not finished. No, I've not made progress on it in a long time. I mentioned it earlier. I kind of I would either have to very meticulously manually build the entire like surrounding cliff design, or just like actually get good at using Axiom to use like the world edit tools. And neither of those things have happened. So for now it's on pause. If and when I do ever finish it, I would make a video on it. So you would probably know. Oh. I do love this song. Well, thank you, Numbstar. I would like to get back to it at some point. I was pretty proud of how it was coming. I've just had other things that I wanted to do and other things that I've had to do, and yeah, I don't know. Why couldn't the two species just come to an agreement that benefits both of them during the Great Turf War? That could be asked about many human conflicts in our own real-life history. I don't know. Are you asking me how and why war happens? It's kind of a loaded question. I don't know. There's a lot that goes into that. Are the salmon messed up because of magnetic fields or vice versa? The salmonids do not influence the magnetic fields of the planet, if that's what you're asking. It's, yeah, no, the... I mean, they're... Yeah, the magnetic fields changing supposedly alters the salmonids, like, spawning and swimming patterns. Oh my god. If I died to the Opto Cycle, I swear to god, okay. That was about to be actually disastrous. I would have said things. Yeah, dude, that was way too close. Oh, dude, I gotta stop looking at chat when Octo Samurai phases start. Oh my god. Okay, I need to lock in for this one. I need to actually stop looking at chat for a second. But yes, magnetic fields, very interesting. Been weirdly hinted at a bunch of random places over, like, well, not all 3 games. It was started in Splatoon 2, but yes, I would like that to be expanded upon. I honestly think Raiders would be a very good opportunity. Could be connected to the, you know, weird tornado thing. What's the most angry you've been on stream? Was there like a recent example? I mean, I don't like rage too hard in general. If you lock in, you can do anything, true. I mean, I get more annoyed from, like, when we talk about, like, I don't know, when the conversations just go to annoying things rather than, like, the gameplay. Side order no hacks was a thing that I struggled with. That was, like, I don't know, that's the most, like, gamer rage example I can think of. I mean, yeah, Return of the Mammalian, well, yeah. I meant more like, I don't know, there was like the last time I did this challenge, we started talking about like Nintendo stuff. Was it this challenge? I don't know. I don't know. I generally try to have good vibes, I guess, so I don't want to like think about when I was annoyed. But yeah, I mean, any Return of the Mammalians rant is gonna get something nasty out of me, I guess. Come on. Why do you think the tornado hates Deep Cut and the mechanic? Well, all we know for sure is that it hates their helicopter. You talk about Splatoon makes you happy? I'm glad to hear it. Hopefully we will have some new stuff to finally talk about soon. Dude, come on. Will I be able to shoot it from this angle? No. Okay. This is still the most, like, I know it's like, it's always kind of my fault when this happens. This interaction, like, sucks. I hate that this arena is like this, where you can, like, barely get up. I hate when this happens. Okay. Oh! Okay, how'd that worked? I mean, I've said about everything I can about Side Order's story. We really just don't know enough. I would love to be able to speculate about it, but we need anything to work with. Alright. Stream will be a window into your boss ranking video. I mean, the last time I did it, I felt like I kept kind of talking about that and like spoiling some of my thoughts, but yeah, I don't know. Oh, Side Order, my bad. Wait, what? Did you say... Did I miss... Did you say something about Side Order? I thought we were talking about Raiders. I didn't know we were talking about Side Order. Oh, I said Side Order. My bad. I meant Raiders. Okay. That was a lot of confusion. Yes, I was responding to the thing about got any theories about Raiders or the tornado or anything. No, I think, yes, obviously Side Order has, I think, at least more than most people give it credit for, but yeah. yeah, this gun sucks a lot, especially for this boss. Okay, well, at least that worked finally. Maybe? Nope. Nope. Okay. Not a bad phase one, at least. Oh my god. There we go. Would you rather have level 1 hero shot or Nova? Oh, Nova, easily. The worst thing about this isn't the damage, it's the lack of paint. That's why Splatoon 1's... I mean, Splatoon 1's fire rate is also, like, better, but... Like, the damage on this weapon isn't even, like, that noticeably bad until you get to, like, Octavio. It's just, you can't paint under your feet, so the movement feels terrible. Can I get the swag hit? Nope, okay. It would have been cool if I did it mid-shower attack, but that's fine. This boss is so fun with Charger. It is unfortunate that it sucks so much with this gun. Oh my god. Yes, I'm ranking every... okay, well not every variant. I was gonna say every variant of every boss, but not to the extent of, like, different, Octo-Canyon weapons or whatever, but it's, yes, all 27 bosses, 5 from Octo Valley, 5 from Octo Canyon, 7 from Octo Expansion, 5 from Return of the Mammalians, and 5 from Side Order. Where are you going? Nowhere? Cool. It's so weird that it does that when you don't put a charger. Like, I don't know what that's meant to accomplish. Oh my god. That worked? What? Did it hit on the way back down, I guess? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay. Nah, like, oh my god. Okay. Okay. You're literally shaking? I mean, I was literally shaking it when it was revealed like 8 months ago, but I mean, second we see Raiders on the screen, I will be losing my mind. But yeah, I am so excited. Agree that Splatoon 3 was made for the pros? I mean, I think the direction of Splatoon 2 was very passive, and very like non-interactive. Like the game encouraged you to hang back, build your special, and not move in until your like entire team was ready to. And I just think in Splatoon 3 they wanted to take the game in a different direction that they thought would be more fun, which meant more aggression and more kind of close quarters maps with, you know, more combat. I would not say it was for the pros. I mean, also, the pros are the fans, so that's kind of a... I feel like the question is flawed, but no. I mean, Splatoon 2 wasn't even for the fans. Splatoon 2 was for people who never played Splatoon 1, and they wanted to get Splatoon on the Switch. So, I don't think either thing is true. Dude, okay. I cannot be dying to Octobot 2 a third time. Just strafe. Just strafe. the thing that I can't get out of my head is, oh, I can shoot the fist back before it hits me. And sometimes I can't. And I need to just be okay with that. I'm also on Hopium. I mean, I am confident that a general direct this month is still extremely possible. So the specific date of the 17th, whether or not that happens, I don't really care, but I think it's very feasible. I think it makes sense. So I'm on board with it. They de-emphasized aesthetics in 3. I mean, arguing that the maps were for the pros, though, doesn't make any sense, because no one hates the maps more than pro players. Like, no one is happy about the maps. They weren't... I don't think they were trying... Like, I don't think the Splatoon 3 maps being in the state that they're in was... It was partially a conscious design choice. I do think they were smaller and more focused on forcing players together on purpose. But that resulting in an extremely linear game with no options and really ugly, similar looking stages, I don't think that was on purpose. You could maybe argue that they should have foreseen that, and I would agree, but yeah, I don't think Splatoon 3 is like as like competitive focused comparatively as some people make it out to be. Hello, Splatoon nerd. Yeah, like, I mean, I agree the maps are ugly, they have the island problem, blah, blah, blah. Like, we talked about that a million times. I just, if the argument is that, like, Splatoon 2... I don't think it was, like, an intentional... Like, Splatoon 3's maps weren't bad on purpose, is all I'm trying to say. Like, I don't think that was, and I don't really think they were... Like... I think they thought people who like Splatoon 2 would like the way Splatoon 3 is designed. I don't think it was like necessarily, it was a different direction, but I don't think it was like for a different audience. How are you today? I'm pretty good. A little tired, but I'm good. Autobots or Decepticons? I think I was on Autobots. I feel like I voted... I remember voting for a lot of Splatoon teams. I remember, like, seeing the news for a lot of Splatfest, but I don't remember playing in that many Splatfest. Like, I know I voted in Cats vs. Dogs. I know I voted in Autobots vs. Decepticons. I don't remember if I actually played at all. But I'm pretty sure I was Autobots. I mean, I wouldn't... Octo Expansion was absolutely designed for hardcore fans, though. Like, it's known for its difficulty and for like you have Inner Agent 3 that's like entirely like a, you know, it's a multiplayer bot that's really good and is a really hard boss because of that. So I don't know. I do think OE is the best of both worlds. I think this dichotomy that you're trying to suggest is just not real. I don't think that's the issue with Splatoon 3. It's not like it was for pro players. Like, that's just not... I don't see it like that at all, at least. Hello, IDK knows nothing. Welcome to the stream. Okay, good. Normal fist. That's okay. Nice. You think they just forgot how to make maps? I mean, a little bit. Well, isn't there? I don't know. There were like new devs. I think that was part of it. I think part of it was there was an intentional decision. I just don't think it was like a game-wide thing. I think like tying side order into it, I don't think makes any sense because that Octo expansion directly contradicts that. If you're talking about like PvP purely, I mean, I think they just wanted to make the game more interactive. I don't think it was like a competitive. People have like a weird idea of like, I don't know. I don't think Splatoon was ever designed for you to like go and paint in the corner and like spam specials. Like, that's never been good or healthy for the game, and if you do that, you probably aren't helping your team very much. Like, people I think played Splatoon 2 when they were younger and worse at the game, and they were able to have these playstyles. Like, I'm not trying to say it's like just a total skill issue thing. I'm not trying to like target you either. I keep seeing this idea of like, oh, Splatoon 2 just let me like go and paint in the corner, and now I have to like fight people. And it's like, dude, it's a shooter game. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I think most of Splatoon 3's changes were for the better, and if you go back to Splatoon 2, like, that game has a ton of issues with its balancing and design. Like, I don't think my casual experience, like, I don't know, I just feel like I'm a casual enough player that I can still say like my casual experience with Splatoon 2 is worse than how Splatoon 3 currently exists. But I don't know. Yeah, I mean, for sure, like, yes, I think ProChara made some video with the update, saying like on the second channel, which I agree with, where he talks about like I do think the casual side of the community is like comparatively underserved in Splatoon 3, like things like challenges. There were a lot of features that people who are like hardcore players of the game benefit more from than casual players would. Things like challenges and kind of the Splatfest design in general is kind of undercooked, whereas some more, you know, competitive focused features were, you know, and the balancing of like the specials and stuff was better for more hardcore players. But I just think I don't know. I feel like people attribute the wrong things to that, I guess. Like, I don't think it was like... I don't think the devs meant to do that. I think Splatoon 3's flaws are not because the devs hate the casual player base. It was like an accident. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I definitely want more options. Salmon Run is a weird case, because, like, that's the closest I come to feeling in a similar way, where, like, I kind of liked the loop of Splatoon 2's Salmon Run more because it was easier and more casual. But I also wouldn't argue that Splatoon 3 Salmon Run is like worse. I don't know, I'm kind of torn on that. It's just a lack of options is the main issue. But it's not like I don't know. I really struggle to just because it's coming from a casual perspective. I feel like people are just very often viewing Splatoon 2 with rose-tinted glasses because, you know, it comes from the people who play the game less. And that doesn't necessarily mean their opinions are less valuable, but I think these people aren't going back to Splatoon 2 and truly like comparing the game design on a deep level. And if they are, send me the link. Right? Like if this analysis has happened, I haven't seen it. So I could be proven wrong. I haven't been convinced yet. That takes 10 minutes, dude. That is so long. I swear we got into Octo Expansion earlier in the stream and it did not take that long, right? Like, I swear that fight. Maybe I was just talking about something more interesting. I'm totally gonna die to Inner Agent 3, bro. Like, don't get your hopes up. Don't get your hopes up. I'll try my best. But... Okay, I'll remember to go for Samurai first this time, at least. Yeah, I'm more scared of Octo Samurai than anything else right now. Low key, okay. No, I was gonna say this is like one of the worst things about Splatoon 3. It's obviously not. That's insane hyperbole. But I really hate that Deep Cut Studio doesn't have like the people watching in the background. I always thought that was like such a cool detail and like shows where they are in reference to the plaza. Like I don't know why they got rid of that. They should have spun Deep Cut's studio around. What's your dream campaign to add onto the series? I want Kaizo platforming. I want really hard Splatoon platforming. That's all I've been wanting since like Octo Valley. I mean, Octo Expansion has some of it. Not like actual like Kaizo, obviously, but it has harder platforming. But that's the main thing. I really Octo Canyon to some extent, and especially Alterna, just like the platforming is just nothing. You just don't have to use your brain. But yeah, okay, lock in. Time to lock in. Okay, I just have to take my time. I will say, going from Octobot 2 to this is a little rough, just because it's two very long fights. But gotta be patient. Just wait for the opening. That was okay. One or two more will do it. Yep. You should buy Octo Expansion, yes. I would say you should. Hatsune Riku, you beat after Alterna. Awesome. I was trying to read your name, but good job. I want to read chat, but I really gotta focus. Okay, Octocycle. Oh my god. Why is that always so close? Okay. Okay. Phase 3, let's go. Okay. Oh my god, you son of a bitch. Oh my, what was that angle, bro? What was that? I was like, that was like the that was like the very, very edge, dude. Man. the silence afterwards is always so deafening. Okay, well, I mean, I'll give it like one more attempt today. I'm probably not beating it today. I don't know. This is a harder challenge than I first anticipated, for sure. Man, I was so confident there, too. I just really thought... I mean, I backed myself in a corner, right? Like, I couldn't... Where else could I go? Because it was... I feel like I would have gotten hit by that spin attack no matter what. I thought I was in the safest position because I was on the wall. And then he just... Anyway. Back to yapping, I guess. Oh, you asked, like, what I want story-wise. I mean, I've talked about it. I feel like I got that question, like, constantly for, like, a couple weeks. I want something that's just, like, a couple of, like, teenage inklings, and you don't have, like, the mentor... I'm tired of, like, the mentor character dynamic. There's always, like, this adult idol character or cuddlefish telling you what to do, and you're just some silent protagonist kid. And like, I just want there to just be like, I want the player characters to just have their own agency and not always just be like commanded to do things, I guess. Which unfortunately, I feel like in Raiders we're probably still just going to be listening to what Deep Cut says. But yeah, I think that's kind of the main thing. Like, I obviously I could talk like themes or broader scope, but like that's the main. I just want there to be like character dynamics, and them to just be like a group of friends. Yeah, I mean, I hope the mechanic is at least just like an adult who's like friends with Deep Cut, and it's less like, hey, we're like your superiors and we're telling you what to do. Yeah, I mean, part of what makes, I think, a lot of Pearl and Marina's dialogue in Octo Expansion really fun is like Callie and Marie are like, okay, we're like, you know, we were agents before you, we fought the Octarians, we know what you're doing, so we know what all these game mechanics are, and we can just like tutorialize and explain what the game mechanic is. And Marina does that to an extent because she's like, oh, I'm analyzing it. But then Pearl is just there to like be funny and stupid. And like even Marie in Octo Canyon to an extent is just like there to like, you know, crack jokes or whatever. So like, I do hope Deep Cut, supposedly no one involved will have experience with whatever is going on. So I'm sure there will still there's still gonna be a lot of dialogue that's just like tutorials or like explaining what a level mechanic is or whatever, but like, I hope more of it is just like actual, like just fun character writing and stuff and jokes or whatever. Yeah, I mean, I hope they're treated like an adult, I guess is what I mean. Like, I hope they're acknowledged as an equal. The mechanic turned out to be the villain. I don't know how they would achieve that, but I don't know. Could be cool. Have you played Stardew Valley? No. Well, making the player character... I assume they mean like we would end up fighting the mechanic and not just like we would do morally dubious or straight up evil things, but I don't know. Please play Stardew. I don't know. I'm not really in the mindset for like a cozy game that you play every day type of thing. I don't know. I wish Stardew wasn't like farming. Like, I don't know. I feel like I could get into a game like that. I mean, I got very into Animal Crossing New Horizons. I know people would probably argue Stardew's like better in a lot of ways, but I just like the aesthetic of it is just not interesting to me. Like, I don't want to live on like a town and make a farm. Like, I want to do something cool that's still like chill. I don't know. What do you mean the next one is in 2 weeks for Mega Splat Party? I thought that was just like a thing that you like download and play. Are they like events? Oh, bro. Okay. That hasn't happened in a minute. I just do get to see the cool teeth attack. Wow, cool teeth attack. There's an official Mega Splat Party hosted every 2 weeks. Okay. That does sound neat. The new updates in Tropical Island and volcano farming isn't really big part of the update, or part of the game unless you want it to be. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen a ton of the game, but it has not really caught my attention, I guess, but maybe at some point I will check it out. I'm not making any promises. I can't believe we're back here, bro. I'm still salty about dying there. Octavio does not have a cool teeth attack, but Fry does, because they just copy-pasted Octomaw's cool teeth attack into Fry's fight. Well, I died twice to Octobot 2, and then most recently I died to Octo Samurai, or Revenge of Octo Samurai in Octo Expansion. Feels like Groundhog Day. A little bit. Doing this in Splatoon 1 is for some reason more satisfying than the other games. I haven't like compared the sound design side by side, but I swear that there's just something about Splatoon 1 that feels more like wet and tangible in the ink. I don't really know. Well, I don't like Fry's boss fight, so Cool Teeth attack does not necessarily save a boss for me. Fry's boss fight is pretty low on my list. Splatoon 1, it's like a liquid, and the other games it's like slime. I mean, yeah, obviously they made it more like thick looking and like viscous, but I swear it's something with the sound design too. I don't know. I might be like a placebo just because it looks different. I think it sounds different. Glad I joined a Splatoon 1 feels more wet. I mean, it's the truth. No, Return of the Mammalians boss fights aren't bad in general. Just Fry and Big Man, really. I still think the Big Man fight sucks. And Fry's is, like, mediocre. Mediocre? Sorry, every time I say the word mediocre, I think of the Squidward clip now. For a chill but not a farming game, you might like Alba, a wildlife adventure. Okay, I mean, I'm not really looking for chill games, if I'm being honest. Like, I don't know. It's just not really my main thing. I appreciate the recommendation, though. They might be slightly higher pitch. I do think, I mean, they're louder. I think the mixing is definitely different, and Splatoon 1 sounds are generally louder. I don't like 100% know that, but I think that's the case. Will you stream the directs? Probably not. I don't know, streaming directs I feel like is just kind of a hassle. I'd rather just like record my reaction and then upload the interesting part. Like, you don't really need to see me like see a bunch of games I don't care about and be like, wow, I don't care about that. I don't know. I do like watching other people's direct reactions, I guess, but like I don't know. I would just upload the Splatoon part. I mean, it also depends. If it happens like in the middle of the week, chances are I'm gonna have class or work and not be able to see it live. Which I almost kind of hope is the case. I don't know. I normally like seeing directs live, and I guess I would want to watch it with my friends, but if it had Splatoon specifically and I had to record it, it would be easier to not do it live. Yeah, I imagine it's gonna be Wednesday or Thursday. If it's Thursday morning, I should probably be able to catch it live. If it's like another 9 a.m. Not cultured enough to understand half the games being shown? Yeah, I mean, a lot of them are, I don't know, like... Well, they got a lot of anime games out of the way in that partner direct. I don't know, I'm hoping... I'm hoping if there is a general direct, again, like, I need it to be more than Splatoon. Obviously, if there's Splatoon Raiders, like, I will be content, I won't care. But for the sake of, like, this being a year for Nintendo that I actually care about and enjoy outside of Splatoon, I would hope there's, like, a decent amount of other stuff, too. I personally don't care for Fire Emblem, but that would be a big one. Getting another trailer for that. And then... I mean, I'm hoping for a 3D Mario sometime in the somewhat near future. It might be too soon for, like, a direct this month. I used to have a farming sim counter. Yeah, it's not really... It was genuinely a thing for a long time, but they have died down a bit. Yeah, like I think 2025 was fine. I think it was like there were definitely there was enough there. It definitely wasn't like anywhere near as exciting to me as like, you know, 2017 and the Switch 1. But it was like a fine year for Nintendo. Obviously financially it was very, very good, but in terms of like my own kind of excitement, and I feel like the hype around the console, there's just a lot of negativity, I guess, with like pricing and Mario Kart World and everything, so like maybe that kind of hampered some of it. But yeah, I really hope this year they knock it out of the park. And so far, again, I think January was really, really good. I think they had a lot of announcements, they had a lot of cool updates to games, like there was stuff to talk about and stuff to do, so they just gotta keep up the momentum, give me a general direct in February, and give us some other games for later in the year. That's what I'm hoping for. Ooh. What do you mean? What do you mean time adjusted? Well, the two-player co-op puzzle adventure is like the one good game I'm looking forward to. If you're talking about Orbitals, I think Orbitals looks really cool. That's like the main thing they've shown recently that I'm interested in. Oh, comparing it to Mario Odyssey. Yeah. But, like, the holiday season matters. Like, I don't think it's... I think there's different expectations depending on the time of the year. And there also wasn't a Breath of the Wild. So that kind of changes things. Like, Mario Kart World is not equivalent to Breath of the Wild at all. That's kind of my main issue with the launch of the system. I don't think Mario Kart World was a good launch game in the slice. Not in the slice. It was a pretty good launch game. It was a game everyone was going to buy, and I think it's pretty fun. I actually, you know, I think the hate for that game is overblown, but it's not Breath of the Wild. It's not even close to Breath of the Wild. Yeah, like I don't know. In terms of like major, that's why I say it was fine. Like in terms of the actual major releases they had, the timing was, you know, reasonable. I just don't think the actual quality of games or innovation on display was anywhere near on the level of the Switch in 2017. This is my last attempt of the stream, yeah. Alright, there's Splatoon 1. Yeah, I mean, we're just in that period where it's like, we know something big is coming. There was like some investor meeting where they like basically said like, oh, I think I'll find my mic. I think Nintendo themselves said basically something big is coming. So, I mean, ARMS is whatever. ARMS was like, ARMS was cool. I mean, it definitely was like a bigger deal than like Dragon Drive. I don't know if there's really a Switch 2 equivalent to it, but you know, that's not like one of the heavy hitters that I'm talking about. Watch what you say. I mean, yeah, like, I don't know. ARMS was cool for a week. I didn't I don't really regret buying it or experiencing it, but it, you know, it wasn't, I wasn't moved, I guess, by ARMS. I mean, if Dragon Drive is a Switch 2 equivalent, that's pretty sad. So. They also, I mean, they didn't market that game like they marketed ARMS, though. ARMS was, like, all over. ARMS was in the Believer trailer. I think what the Switch 2 is missing is a Believer trailer moment. If you know what I'm talking about, you know. But that was, like, I mean, that marked, like, the new era of Nintendo for me. I mean, ARMS is fun, it just didn't have a lot of content. Like, I don't know, I'm sure there's people who go back to it every now and then. I don't see the ARMS hype. I mean, that suggests there is ARMS hype. I don't think there was ARMS hype. Nintendo hyped it. I'm not sure if ARMS gets more fun at a higher level. I feel like my issue with it is that a lot of time the fights would just devolve into, like, grab spam, and it kind of worked. So, you weren't really... I don't know, it just, I feel like I've said this before, I don't know, but, I feel like the reason ARMS didn't really click for me is because, like, normally the point of a fighting game is that you have, like, super responsive inputs that come out in like a, you know, single digit number of frames that you combo together. And ARMS is a game where your attacks come out like a full 2 seconds after you press the button. So it's like, you know, it's obviously going for an extremely different style of gameplay than a traditional fighting game, but it's like, if it doesn't have that, what does it have? And what it has, in my opinion, is just not really all that fun. It just kind of feels like you're spamming projectiles from a distance, occasionally landing something, and then throwing out a grab, and it works, and you kill them. It was 60. It was not 50. It was a full 60. Well, because people compared it. I remember people saying, like, oh, this will be like the Splatoon of fighting games, but it's like, okay, but there wasn't content. There wasn't, the single player was just an arcade mode, which is just you fight each of the characters. Like, there was like the vaguest hint of a story. The character designs were really cool. I mean, the character designs and the music were great. The game looked, like, graphically really good for the time, in my opinion, but there just wasn't enough to do. And the gameplay just wasn't deep enough to keep it interesting, in my opinion. I mean, it's not like delayed, like, I know I said it, like, obviously the game is designed around the inputs being delayed. It feels more like you're shooting projectiles than actually throwing a punch, but I just think a game where you're spamming projectiles isn't great. I don't think that feels great for fighting people. I think some of the character gimmicks were, like, pretty good and helped with it, and you had the rush mode, but... yeah, I don't know, man. I still see you painting on your feet when super jumping back from a boss. I mean, that's kind of something I've always done. It just, like, it was a weird thing, like, it bothered me standing in enemy ink during the cutscene. So that's not just because of the damage mod, that is just kind of a thing I do. Funnily enough, I decided to not do it that time I died in the challenge, I guess, but whatever. Yeah, the curved punches are, like, crazy slow. Rules, I don't really know how to answer your question. I mean, there are some theories I've seen where it's like, it's not like literally every sea creature that we see was in the Alterna cavern, but like maybe somehow the crystals spread through like creatures eating one another or just like dissolving in the water. But yeah, obviously it's not completely logical. Oh, nice. This feels so much easier after having attempted the Octo Expansion one again. Yeah, I mean, chances are Nintendo... like, okay, but there's... There are some cases where Nintendo didn't think it through, but like you can still, there's enough information there to work with. It's the difference between like Tears of the Kingdom, where you don't even have the information to speculate. At least in Splatoon, I feel like a lot of the time, there are instances where it's just the devs didn't think about it, the devs don't care, there's no answer. But like, I think for something like that, you can try to draw some sort of conclusion. Yeah, Raiders... I hope Raiders lore is good. I really hope Raiders lore is good, because just the presentation of the lore... I mean, I hope it's not scrolls, straight up. I mean, they could do scrolls. As long as the scrolls are actually good and there's a lot of them, they could do scrolls, but like, I hope that's not it. You know, they've been getting a lot more creative with things like the chat logs and the dev diary and even the Alterna logs, where like, I feel like we can do better than scrolls. I feel like we have better methods of storytelling at this point that I would like to see. Will you ever make a shorter style lore video like Zeltic? The closest I've gone to that is probably like my Memcake video. I do like Zeltic's style. I kind of wish it was easier to emulate it with Splatoon stuff, but it's like... It's just hard to explain things concisely when it comes to Splatoon, because just so much, like, I've said this before, but there just isn't like a baseline knowledge of lore in the community the way there is for Zelda, where it's like, it feels like so much has to be explained because it comes from like interviews and stuff. So it's just like, it's just kind of hard to make short videos, but yeah, I would like to make, you know, the video I'm working on right now is literally 3.5 hours, and I really want to make some things that are shorter. And I do have some ideas for that in the oven, so, or at least on the planned for the future. So yeah. What about sanitization? I mean, I have a video on sanitization. It's like 40 minutes long, but it is pretty comprehensive, I believe. How did 27 bosses... Dude, I don't know. I don't know how it took that long. I really don't. I was looking up, like, I don't really do this that often, but like, I don't know. I was having trouble coming up with like a thumbnail design. So I just looked up like a boss ranking videos on YouTube. And saw like some guy ranked every 3D Zelda boss, which apparently there are 85 of them, in like under 2.5 hours. And I'm like, well, okay. Which, like, I don't know. I'm being thorough. Like, I think it's that long for a reason. But yeah, I mean, even I think it's a little ridiculous. But I don't know. I don't know how to make it shorter. Ew, no. I despise Mr. Beast thumbnails. No matter how you feel about Mr. Beast, his thumbnails are awful. Like, they're purely, like, catered to the exact, like, algorithmic, you know, statistical things that make people click on a video, and there's absolutely no, like, passion or artistry in them. Not that mine are, like, you know, I mean, artistry is maybe a... I don't know, it's a slightly pretentious word to use in this instance, but also Mr. Beast is like, you know, it's like the epitome of corporate, so I think it applies. Yeah, I mean, they do not look good. They're not aesthetically appealing. They're pumped out of a machine to get views. Yeah, I think most people here know Hollow Knight. I streamed Silksong on this channel. What was your question? Oh, I might try Damageless again. I kind of want to beat this challenge, so I might try and do this. If assuming I fail this attempt, I might try this again next week. But Yeah, it'd be fun to try. I mean, I want to try other Splatoon 1 mods too, if I can. Oh, whoa! Okay, I know stuff like that can happen. I haven't had an interaction quite like that before. Interesting. Okay, we're bouncing around. that was something. Okay. Stingray. The annoying thing about this position is like you have to bounce forward, but then you like, if you go too far forward, you're obviously gonna fall off. Oh my god. There's a surprising amount of variety in like the angles that can go at when it runs over the tower. I just thought about squid surging for a second. Okay. Oh, okay. Get me on that rail, get me on that rail. Yeah, damageless Octo Canyon would be interesting. Oh god, that'd probably be a lot harder, actually. I mean, Octo Canyon levels are just long, so I feel like the bosses would definitely be harder, I think. Come on. Octocan in general is a lot harder. I feel like I always hear mixed opinions on that. When I first played Octocannon, I remember thinking it was a lot harder than Octo Valley, but then I heard other people saying it was easier, so I'm like, okay, is it just because I like played Octo Valley levels so many times and got really good at them? I don't know. I think the platforming, well, I don't know. What is even going on? Okay, sure. That worked, I guess. I'm clipping that. What on earth was that? Ba-ba-ba-da-bum. Under 4 minutes, wow. I guess I normally, oh my god. I normally play Octo Valley with upgrading the hero shot. So that probably skews my opinion of the difficulty a little bit. If you upgrade the hero shot, it is pretty trivial. I still think some of the platforming is a little trickier towards the end, like the kind of spinning platforms and the shifting platforms level. I don't know. I feel like Octo Canyon like almost gets into difficult platforming. I think there's that the platform Madhouse level with the Splatling. That's like one of my favorite Octo Canyon levels, and it's because the platforming actually finally gets pushed somewhere interesting. But I feel like it literally takes until that level for it to really get on the level as of Octo Valley. Octo Canyon Nuzlocke? So like what? It'd be like New Game Plus, and if you die, you can't use one of the 9 hero weapons, I guess? I feel like that'd be too easy, to be honest. Maybe if I did like a... What if I did that with the damageless mod? That would be something. Taking damage with any hero weapon means I can't use it for the rest of the game. I don't know, I have a really hard time gauging how difficult these things would actually be. Because that's, I mean, 9 deaths. That's actually not that many. I did die a lot doing it in Octo Valley. Why are there giant vaults in Alterna? No one but Seta Anoi knows the answer. He probably doesn't even know. Yeah, I mean, there's probably something you could make out of the vaults. Obviously, the one in Shiver's boss fight kind of makes sense because it looks like a giant bank. Fry and Big Man's are a bit harder to come up with an explanation for, but yeah, I mean, just alternans keeping stuff there. Each boss on average roughly 6 minutes. Yes, I've tried doing the math myself. But some are much longer and some are a lot shorter, I will say. Like, I have some of like the sanitized versions are back to back with the original versions. So like I have Octo Shower Supreme, and then immediately after is Octo Shower. So I don't really bother like re-explaining the whole boss, so that one ends up being like a lot shorter. Whereas I know somehow I talked about this boss for 14 minutes. I think I talked about Overlorder for 17 minutes. So yeah. I don't think Big Man took 6 minutes. And if it did, that's just because I actually took the time to compare it to the Phantom Manta fight from Super Mario Sunshine. So yeah. I don't think I need help. I think I don't know. Dude, I was showing off the Prima guide earlier and how I spotted that one, like, the one tiny story inconsistency that no one would care about. I posted that in that's private Splatoon lore server that I talk on sometimes, and someone was like, I don't remember if you're neurodivergent or not, but I think you are. For the record, I don't know, undiagnosed, but yeah. Will the video show the averages of the campaign's rating? Probably not. I remember with the level ranking video, I was like considering doing a bunch of like that kind of thing of like giving the stats, and like, it's just such a long video already. That would just be a bunch of math at the end. It's like, you can do that if you want based on the scores I give, but I'm probably not gonna bother. Also, most of the campaigns are wildly inconsistent, if I'm being honest. Like, some of the worst and best bosses come from the same campaigns. So, it's very skewed. And they'd all end up averaging about the same, I think. Are any bosses like genuinely badly designed? Not really. Oh my god. The closest I get to straight up saying like this boss is bad is Revenge of the Octo Samurai. And that's like, it is partly like just I don't know. It's hard to defend. Like, I get that if you play the boss really patiently, it's not that bad. But it's just not fun to be patient. Like, it's as patient as it requires you to be. Also, I mean, that way I died on the last run of this thing, like, I feel like that's kind of BS. Like, sometimes you just, okay, this one was carried by the spectacle score. Like, I'm taking into account the story and music and everything. So, like, yeah, this boss kind of sucks, but the music's really good. So it did okay, comparatively. But yeah, I mean, Baller just sucks. Like, that fight it's not fun to attack the boss, and it's not fun to avoid the boss. So like, that's what the fight is. Because it's also like, it's kind of an ugly recolor. Like, that is the bottom one. It's the bottom one because it's like, okay, of all of the fights that are a recolor, this is the weirdest because it's not a robot, it's literally just like a guy. So like, it doesn't really make sense in canon. It looks kind of ugly. It's just a worse version of an existing fight with no new moves. And I just think the pace of the fight is abysmal. But most of the other fights at the bottom of the list, I'm just like, this is underwhelming. You know, it's not like this is like broken or bad, or totally sucks. It's just like it's not fun. So yeah. I swear to God, I looked at chat. Let me. What did you even say? Oh, who do you think is the best? Well, I don't want to spoil the boss ranking video. People who have been around for a while probably know who my favorite final boss is. But you'll see in the video coming out, hopefully, maybe next week. But also probably the week after that. Okay, fine. It's Mr. Grizz. The thing is, I don't dislike the Mr. Grizz fight, mechanically. I really don't. It's actually really cool. In the second phase, not as much, but the rocket part is really cool. I will not die here. If I die here, I should be put in jail. Like, there's no way. Yeah, they might have seen Grizz. I think there should have been more an implication of that if that was supposed to be the idea, but yeah. Deep Cut might have seen Grizz, I don't know. People asking questions that already have multi-hour long videos about the question. Yeah, I mean, I think some people are just popping in and they don't know, but yeah, it is kind of funny. Dude, I remember, okay, Stampy Longnose, absolutely like one of my favorite people on the planet. Awesome person, very cool, loved his Let's Plays, watched his Minecraft stuff for years. He died, like, he game overed on this phase. I think he thought you're supposed to like jump between the rails, but I will never forget that. Like, he game overed on this part. I'm like, dude. It was tough to watch. But yeah, I obviously have so much respect for him, but a little part of me died watching him play this boss fight. Yeah, he's played. It's really weird because like in my brain, it's like I think of him just as like a total different era of my life. But he's played every. I don't know if he played Side Order, but he has videos on Splatoon 1, Splatoon 2, Octo Expansion. Pretty sure Splatoon 3 multiplayer. So yeah. Stampy Longnose is who I'm talking about. He's a very well-known Minecraft YouTuber. This one. It lagged when I said died and he had a heart attack for a second. Oh no. The cutscenes in the middle though of the Grizz fight, yeah. No, that I talk about that. Don't worry. Don't worry. I get to that in the video. Having a ton of Nintendo accounts is an abstract concept to me. Well, most of them are to like literally just replay Octo Expansion. Okay, it won't let me show them without closing it. Well, they're at the top of the screen. I'm stupid. Well, I did not mean to capture. I'm sorry. Oh my god. Don't open the capture. Home menu. Thank you. This one is just because I wanted an alt and having Toad and Captain Toad is cool. This was my like Switch. What is this? This was my original alt. I had Cosmic and Cloud, but then I decided to make this Cloud when I transferred my stuff to the Switch OLED, I think. But then I wanted to transfer everything over, so now I have two Clouds, and then these are literally just to replay like Octo Expansion and other video games. Just delete. I mean, I do. I've made and deleted the rest. You would have 8 accounts maximum. All of these accounts are replacing old accounts that used to exist. Or you mean delete? Why would I delete my own Octo Expansion? I don't know, mess with my own 100% save file. I'd much rather just make it different. Dude, I swear to God, it's gonna make me watch the news again. Oh, okay, no, it's not. Good. I really thought it was going to. Why is one named 5? Well, the 5 was 5 at one point, I think. And then I got lazy with the numbering. They used to be like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then, yeah. Delete your alt accounts. Well, I do. That's what I'm saying, is I... You don't understand. I have played Octo Expansion an additional 7 times, and then deleted those accounts and made new accounts. I just don't bother to delete it every time. I just go up until the maximum. Have you played Galaxy or Octo Expansion more? Almost definitely Galaxy, in terms of actually, like, rolling credits. But I've jumped back into Octo Expansion and done, like, the finale. But I've done the final level of Mario Galaxy, like, literally so many times since I was, like, 9 years old, so I think it's still Mario Galaxy. Do you not know about deleting specific accounts? I'm just lazy. It's just easier to make new users than to do that. is the honest answer. I would much rather just make a new user and then delete the user. Because then it's on, like, then it's a fresh start for every game that I might want to replay. Galaxy is hard to replay because of the beginning. I could see that perspective. I love the beginning. I like Galaxy for me is so much about the atmosphere and everything, where replaying the beginning of the game is entirely like a part of the experience. Like, it's like replaying an RPG to me, where it's like you're replaying it to re-experience like all of the story moments and everything. So I mean, I adore the intro of Mario Galaxy. That's like one of my favorite parts of any game. So I, for sure, like, yes, it takes longer to get into more of the actual like core gameplay loop, but I do not mind personally. You don't replay OE that often, man? I mean, you don't know me. Also, I mean, some of it is for video footage. I know for, like, I think the Memcake video, for some of my videos I've had to get footage of, like, the beginning part of Octo Expansion, so I, you know, had to make a new profile. I'm like, why? That's such a close call with the baller every time. Hey, I'm starting with this one for Octo Expansion because it's the hardest one. Okay, got the tap there. I did not like that jump, that scared me. 3. Come on, you're so close. Let's spin attack. Okay. That's too far away. No, it's not. Okay. In my opinion, this one is definitely the hardest to not die on. Octo Stomp is... That's a long fight, but it's not one that kills you as much, in my opinion. Scared I mistimed that jump. I don't even know if I was in range, but I probably was based on the last death. Range is bigger than it looks. Okay, you're so close. Why did I do that? I got greedy for 1 second, bro. Oh. Yeah, I got so close both times. I'm sorry, guys. I may need to like practice this boss. How many times have you lost this challenge to specifically this boss? At least 4, maybe 5. But yeah, probably gonna call it there for today. I mean, that's an almost 4-hour stream. Man, you have to play it so slow. It's like, if it was just that boss, I think I wouldn't be so hard for me to be patient, but it's just, it takes like an hour to get back here. Has this made you like the boss less? It's validated my opinion of it as something that can kill you very cheaply. I mean, that one was like fair. I think that death was like largely on me. I think the walls are stupid. I think the walls are a lie. The walls are just there and then they just don't save you. They don't catch you like 90% of the time. The first death I think was BS. The one from the previous attempt. I mean, I was like, I could have jumped. I realized I could have jumped over the spin attack, but like I was so far away from him and it just swiped me like halfway across the arena off into the void. But yeah. Yeah, like it being tedious and making you impatient, I do think is like a valid criticism of the boss design, because if it was fun, then that wouldn't happen. Yeah, so next stream I kind of want to just try this again. I mean, it's a fun yap stream. Like it's like yap 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 for an hour and then I lock in, which I think is a fun stream dynamic. So I like this. I would like to beat it eventually. I did worse this time because I never made it I never even made it to Inner Region 3. But that was fun. And that video I'm working on the video. And it will be done so soon. Hopefully before, if there is a direct. Hopefully I get this video out before then, because that would mess with things a little bit. But yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. I haven't plugged the Discord in a while. I used to always do that. I don't know if we got any new people here. We do have Discord if you want to hang out and keep talking to people about Splatoon stuff. Link is in the description. You would rank the Raiders bosses? I mean, yeah, like when the game comes out. I want to make a lot of Raiders content. I'm gonna do like a big review and everything, so that'll probably come eventually, but not high on the priority list. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. This has been Cosmic. Farewell.